Damn it. .604 Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, off and running. Brian here with you, Wilton producing, getting you ready for a stacked up Wednesday show. Did you go out to Independence Theater last night? A lot of people did. The Breck community meeting about City Brooks Park went down last night over there off of right next to the Goodwood Library, Independence Theater, Independence Park, Breck's Independence Park. Huge meeting last night, ran pretty long. I didn't go to the meeting. I went to a meeting just up the road, and on my way home from that meeting, it was about 8 o'clock, and they were still going over at Independence. So a lot went down. We got a lot to cover, so let's get to it. Top stories and trending. A master plan to make significant changes to City Brooks Park is in the works by Breck. The Parks Commission brought in design consultant Sasaki Associates to develop a blueprint for what improvements the park to what it could look like. Currently, Sasaki has proposed two different designs for the park. One's called the Big Loop. The other is called the Stitch. Oh, by the way, State Representative Dixon McMakin has himself a third plan. He'll be here at 7:15 to talk about it. The Ascension Parish School Board has approved one-time stipends for eligible employees. Certified employees are going to get $2,000 apiece. Support employees $1,000 apiece. The plan as it stands right now is to find another $1,500 per before the end of the first semester of the upcoming school year. Judge overseeing Attorney General Liz Murrell's criminal case agreed to issue subpoenas to the special prosecutor and the New Orleans Parish District Attorney. Apparently, this is to determine what led to Murrell's 16-count indictment earlier this month. Special Prosecutor Lori White and New Orleans Parish District Attorney Jason Williams both appeared on WWL down in New Orleans, where they said they're going to have to turn over emails, documents, text messages, and other requested records. According to Leaders for a Better Louisiana, the state's job market has hit an all-time high as we now have surpassed 2 million jobs in the state. Non-farm jobs, that is. The organization says the state added 16,700 over the last year, ranking fourth in the South, which much of this growth is coming from construction. 19-year-old Sean St. Cyr, out on bond for allegedly raping a 16-year-old girl, was, get this, arrested for stalking a separate victim. Arrest documents say that, surprise, surprise, he was supposed to have an ankle monitor on as well. What do you say, Wilton?
All right. Well, a bill to make daylight saving time permanent has passed the House. There is no word yet on how it will fare in the Senate. Just making them this.
As both James Brown and Sabrina Carpenter have both said, please, 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 let's just get there.
I did not know where you were going with that at first.
Oddly enough, they both have a song with that title. Let's get there. It's rolling forward, falling back, done with it. I don't care if I give up an hour of my life.
Yeah, I don't know why this hasn't happened yet, to be honest. Like, I remember learning about it for the first time in school when I was young, asking the teacher why we actually still do that. And
because we're all farmers, Wilton.
They my teacher at the time had no real reason.
We are an agrarian society.
I know. They mentioned it was started from the wartime, and then we, so we have extra time after work and all that, and then just never got rid of it. I think
I got to tend to the chickens. You got to tend to the corn. Let's go.
I'm done changing it. I'm ready. All right. Also, the U.S. military has said Tuesday that reimposed its blockade of Iranian ports in response to Iran's attacks on commercial ships in the Strait of Hormuz. Saw it coming.
Yes. Rinse, repeat. Here we go again.
I hope we can be done with all of that.
Nope.
Soon.
But you can. My grandfather had a saying: "You can hope in one hand and do something else in the other. You tell me which one fills up first."
All right.
They're going to restart negotiations next Wednesday, like a week from today. So basically, it's a week of just destroying their military establishment, bombing the bejesus out of them, and then we'll start over on Wednesday, and This will be rinse repeat, man. This is not something you get out of easily.
We have heard this song before.
Right.
All right. And a grandfather from Washington State has gone viral. Did you see this video after being thrown by a bison at Yellowstone National Park?
Yeah. That was bonkers. And it's like the bison was after him specifically.
Yeah. Chased.
Like, yeah, there's other people around. There's cars, there's kids, there's whatever. Bison went after Grandpa.
They're fast.
And Grandpa, yeah, I was surprised by that.
And nimble.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, my family we were all in Yellowstone last summer. And like, this scared me because I was taking pictures and videos that at one point for sure I was much closer to a bison than this dude was.
Yeah.
So it's just luck.
Yeah, I don't know what Grandpa did to tick off the bison, but
and he was a good distance away.
Yeah, and then he was even further distance away after he flew.
I want to give you one more real quick, just a trending story kind of on theme. Did you see? I think it was late Monday night actually. 50 Cent, Curtis Jackson. You see what
Shreveport's own. What's he up to?
He made a post. Well, that's the thing. He made a post on, I guess, Instagram and Facebook, maybe Twitter as well. But it's I'll quote it here. He says, "There are people in Shreveport who just don't want things to get better. I only make deals that make sense. I'm gonna have to pull back on the Red River."
No.
So yeah, I was bummed to read that too. I don't know what extent he's gonna be pulling back. I know he's really tied up.
I gotta dial back in on that because he made a huge investment in downtown Shreveport. He basically bought half of downtown Shreveport.
It'll be really hard for him to completely divest, but this doesn't bode well. He's being pretty cryptic about it. I don't know what it's over, if it's a disagreement with some local people there, with some leadership there, but it seems like the deal is
so downtown Shreveport is like, they have a fantastic convention center and a couple great hotels, one or two decent casinos, nothing super on that front, but other than that, downtown Shreveport is doo-doo. And like a lot of downtowns these days, it's looking for a new life, a new reinvention of downtown. One of the things I don't think we appreciate fully in Baton Rouge is the rock star that we have in Whitney Hoffman Sale with our downtown development district, because she's constantly reinventing. Cities our size or smaller, it's so tough to have a downtown because you're not going to have like a monster CBD with Fortune 500 companies that are housed there and embedded for hundreds of years. You're going to have, the old school where, you had a downtown in the 40s and 50s where, Gimbals would have their Christmas display. Like, it's not that anymore. So constantly reinventing yourself is a difficult thing to do. Curtis Jackson, 50 Cent, had the injection into Shreveport's downtown that was going to make a generational difference. I want to find out what's going on. That's worth dialing in on.
Yeah, I really hope that it's not the end of the story. I hope they can figure something out. Whatever the rub is, I hope that it can get past.
Same. 612 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. I told you during top stories we got Dixon McMakin coming up at 7:15. Well before that, about 15 minutes from right now, Attorney Franz Borghardt's in for Legally Served. Yes, the good Pastor Tony Spell is back in the news. And yes, we'll move from, speaking of rappers, we'll move from 50 Cent to Boosie. Go ahead and put his mic on. We'll move from 50 Cent to Boosie.
Restraining order can't stop God.
Well,
50 yards, God's got... Brian.
What?
He fulfilled the scriptures. He healed the sick. He's going to violate the restraining order, right?
You're going to start at an 11 this morning, aren't you?
I'm at a 5th freaking teen.
We're going to have some fun.
We are.
Well, I'm going to be fair, but we're going to have some fun. Also, Boosie's in the news.
Dude.
Also, I kind of want to run down that whole the A.G. Myrtle story too.
Let me just go back to Boosie for a second.
Okay.
I deep dove into I don't know a lot about the pardon world, like the federal pardon world, like the law, because these are lobbyists, not lawyers. Whoa, $600,000.
Yeah,
that's a lot. That's a lot of Boosie money,
bro. Lobbyists they make bank, dude.
Well, in the same breath, though, and you have more political, knowledge than I do. If the $600,000 is spent, because in the lobbying world you can use the money to grease the wheels of justice, so to speak, and so how much of the $600,000 were they keeping versus, okay, here's a contribution to you, here's a contribution to you, there's ethics rules about that too, right?
No, there's ethics rules about it, and if you want, we can sit down over a nice steak, and be careful that plate's hot. There's a lot of expense that goes into it.
It's an expensive process.
It is. So we got Franz coming up at 6:25. Dixon McMakin 7:15. Monroe's Mayor. Let's move from Shreveport to Monroe. Monroe's Mayor Friday. Ellis at 7:35. Going to recap Monday's press conference about Meta. Ran into him out there. State Senator Rick Edmonds at 8:15 and Congresswoman Julia Letlow at 8:35. There's your full rundown. Quick break. We got sports next.
Is McMakin coming in or calling in?
He should be coming in.
Are you going to Rotary today?
I am. In fact, I'm bringing a guest with me today.
Who are you bringing?
One Joseph Cataldi.
Oh,
yeah.
I may have to go to that.
I saw there was something boozy, but I did not really understand what it was.
Let me try that, Brian. We're going to try this again. My pictures suck. So he had federal supervised release. There was a picture of him having a federal supervised release. It's like parole.
Okay.
And there was a picture of him holding a firearm or having a firearm in his back pocket or something. And so he was looking at going back to jail.
Mm-hmm.
And so
he's a criminal.
No, he's an artist.
What's he been in jail?
No, he's both.
I was trying to get the
one any
dude,
pros.
I'm such a chick. No.
Oh, my logo.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. So he gets busted, and someone's like, "You need to hire these guys for a pardon. $600,000. $600,000.
Who was his firm?
You have to. Yeah.
I perused the story. I didn't take a deep dive.
J.M. Berkman and Associates. It's a DC lobbying firm. There was some over posturing. Boosie claims the operatives aggressively boasted about having Trump on speed dial. And in fact, on New Year's Day of that year, they allegedly called the legal team claiming Trump had already signed the pardon. No pardon materialized. He's only looking for 50% back, though.
Well, I screwed up. Hey, we're gonna pivot the rundown real quick. I double booked 7:15, so we're gonna need to move this date in history up to 7:55, and I'm gonna move.
You're a little bit later than you normally do. You just got a couple of minutes, barely until I got to do the parsons at 6:20.
What?
For this little sports break,
it's
really short.
It's
This report comes to you from the Talk 107.3 Traffic Center. Buying or selling a home in Baton Rouge, City Title makes closing easy.
It's going to be like barely 2 minutes.
MidCityTitle.com. Your midday momentum. Brian Kilmeade, weekdays at noon on Talk 107.3.
.618 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. For more than 115 years, ExxonMobil has helped power Louisiana through good jobs, a strong focus on safety, and long-term investment in our community, specifically here in Baton Rouge. And as energy needs change, ExxonMobil is applying the experience that they've built over a century to new solutions like carbon capture and storage, projects that help support industry, keep jobs here at home, and bring new opportunities to markets across Louisiana, the nation, and the world. If you want to learn more about what ExxonMobil is up to on this front, they've built out a website for you, aboutlaccs.com. Aboutlaccs.com. We're going to take the history that we have and bring it into the future with ExxonMobil. LSU is all set and ready to roll for SEC Media Days coming up. I believe that's next week. In fact, yes, it is. SEC Media Days is coming up. If you were expecting to hear from Sam Levitt, the new quarterback, you are not going to. We now know who is going to SEC Media Days as players for the Tigers. It's going to be Trey'Dez Green on the offensive side, and you got Whit Weeks and TJ Doherty on the defensive side. I think Whit Weeks is a no-brainer on that front, as he's just so good on Mike. TJ Doherty is an interesting choice. Trey'Dez Green is going to get a lot of questions because he's just a freak show, and everybody's going to want to hear from him. But you only had room for 3, and those are the 3 they came out with. So that is your look at. And by the way, if you want to read more about it, Hunt Palmer's got a great piece over at LouisianaSports.net. It's 6:20. Here's the Fox Business Report.
So do you think that, like, at the Tabernacle Church, somebody was out there with a ruler? Like, how close is 50? How close is 50 yards? That's a big distance.
Does he even have him? Like, he's allowed. There's an exception to check his mail. Does he even have a mailbox there?
You know, there's some shenanigans going on.
Shares up more than 2% after the money manager reported an upbeat quarter. PayPal shares are up more than 15% following reports that payment service Stripe and investment firm Advent are interested in buying PayPal. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jake Coselva, invested in you.
You know what I love about all this AG stuff that's going on? And I posted about it the other day, is that all the fun, crazy motions her legal team, they're filing, zealously representing her. I'm just sitting back eating popcorn because I'm like, well, if she can do that, well, then I'm going to be able to do that with my cases. Like you understand the subpoena ducas tecum at this phase, the communications, this is unprecedented. Like, you're getting communications between a special prosecutor and a DA's office. And I get that it's regarding the propriety or impropriety of the indictment process, but it's just like.
As a matter of fact, there are national tax relief companies that are currently under court orders to cease operations. So if you have IRS issues,
Jennifer Richardson, if you're listening, I want to come volunteer and do some cleanup work.
the Bryson Law Firm has been doing this for decades. We have a AAA BBB rating, and our entire focus is IRS problems and tax liability issues. An IRS problem is a legal problem. Let the Bryson Law Firm help you get relief the right way. So if you owe back taxes or haven't filed returns in years, it's time to call the Bryson Law Firm and finally resolve your tax issues. Don't put it off any longer. Call the Bryson Law Firm. Our headquarters are in Lafayette, and we have offices statewide. Or visit BrysonLawFirm.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Bryson Law Firm. LSB filing number LA2519684.
This is Adrienne Holly with Relief Windows, your window and door headquarters, reliefwindows.com.
Now a check on your drive from the Talk 107.3 Traffic Center.
All right, let's head on back to the traffic center, see what we got going on to start off your morning. It's actually a relatively light morning to start off. On your interstates is where we'll begin. I-12 westbound is actually where we'll begin. Start to see a little bit of volume on 12 westbound, not just back by Range Avenue and Denham Springs, where we always do, but bringing it here into town. As you approach Airline Highway, you're going to tap the brakes once again in between Sherwood and Airline. Oh, I'm sorry, Millerville, all the way up to Airline. It's a little bit heavier than it normally is. And that's really the only delay we're seeing right now on the interstates. If you look at 10 coming in from Ascension Parish, we're golden. If you look at 10 eastbound coming back across from West Baton Rouge, we're good there as well. On your surface streets, there's no accidents to report right now, but I'm looking at Airline Highway, and there's a number of different spots where you're seeing really, really heavy volume start to build up. If you're on Airline headed, I guess that's southbound, and you're north of I-12, I mean, you're going to slow down a pretty good bit around Old Hammond Highway. It looks like it's even more than one light cycle at this point, which is a little bit early for that to be going on. Flipping it around on Airline headed northbound, just north of I-12, same thing as you get right there by Coursey. So a little bit heavier than usual at this time. That's your look at traffic from the Talk 107.3 Traffic Center. 624 Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along, getting you to legally serve with attorney Franz Borghardt. In just a quick second, do need to remind you about the folks over at Neurojust, Neurojust, neurojust.com. If you have been battling with anxiety or depression, if you have those feelings of isolation, those feelings of hopelessness, those feelings of depression and sadness, they get convoluted sometimes, but you know the feeling if you're just separating yourself and you're just down your own rabbit hole right there. If you've tried the antidepressant route, if you've tried the sitting down with a therapist route, if you don't like the way that makes you feel and the anxiety, it constantly has you in that fight or flight, give Neurojust a call. 330-7382. 330-7382. TMS therapy is different. And I've actually sat through the therapy before. It's non-invasive, completely painless, and the team over at Neurojust is about as professional and caring as you could possibly find. They're here for you from start to finish. They want you back on the right path. They want to take those rough seas in your mind and just calm them down. 330-7382. And oh, by the way, they will go to battle with your insurance company to make sure they're picking up the tab. Neurojust.com. Time for Legally Served. Let's roll.
An open and honest discussion about how the law applies to headlines. You not only insulted me, but you insulted integrity in this court. The defendant is not guilty.
Defense is wrong.
Everybody in this courtroom is. I'm being charged with a crime. Is that what this is? I'm being charged with a crime. Legally served with attorney Franz Borghardt.
Don't tell me what I know and don't know. I know the law.
Good morning, guys.
Morning, Franz.
So many topics, so little time.
Well, we got half an hour, so we're doing pretty good.
Where do you want to start?
I kind of want to start with, can we start and finish the Liz Murrell story within this segment?
General Liz.
Yeah, AG Liz Murrell. So
You got two. She's trying to recuse all cases that she has active in the Orleans Parish from the judge that was presiding over the grand jury proceedings.
okay.
So that's one quickie.
Mm-hmm.
That's a quickie. And then now she's trying to get the communications between Special Prosecutor Lori White and the district attorney.
Mm-hmm.
She filed what's called a subpoena ducis tecum, fancy Latin phrase. What's that mean? It means, hey, you got to bring some stuff to court or bring it to me.
Right. So what she's looking for here is emails, documents, text messages,
Communications.
requested records, and such.
Yeah.
So, and I kind of want to get to the bottom of the page quickly on this because I don't see what the problem is here.
So normally communications between an attorney and another attorney on the same side or a party on the same side is what's called privileged. You can't get to it, right? Like if you're talking to, so what happened here was Jason Williams, the district attorney, said, hey, I have a conflict. I can't handle this. I'm a possible victim in this case.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, if you have a conflict of interest as a district attorney, you would go to the AG's office and get one of their skilled attorneys to come in and handle the case. Couldn't do that in this one because the topic of the conflict was what? They're trying to prosecute the attorney general.
Right. So let me ask you this question then. Okay, does timeline matter as to what she's requesting? Just because they're attorneys doesn't make everything in their phones privileged. But at a certain point, that turns the corner to this case is now open.
So what I will tell you is timeline does matter. What I will tell you is I thought that this was privileged and would work. We call it work product.
Mm-hmm.
And I did not think that a judge would give it to her. And boy, was I wrong. Because she gonna get it.
Well, but there's reason for it,
right?
Because if
it's not to the underlying charge, it's to the question of was there impropriety with the grand jury proceedings? That's the big legal fight right now. Everything is stayed on the criminal prosecution. It was remanded, brought back down to the trial court to decide what? Hey, did y'all do this the right way or not?
Right.
And what this judge has said by granting the subpoenas is, hey, and by the way, just because you get the documents doesn't mean you get to use them, although they will be leaked to the press.
So, well, here's what I'm looking for, just in very real time. Okay, in very low school layman's terms. I'm looking for a text that said, "Hey, did you get that letter from Liz?" "Yeah, I sure did. What about you?" "Yeah." Were you threatened by it?" "Not really." "Are you sure?" You're sure?
That could be
Because
in
here's
there.
how I read it. And then there's a level of like coercion to be like, hey, see this the way that I saw it so we can have a 16 count indictment.
Could be in there. There could be, hey, I can't handle this case. I want to bring you on to handle it.
Mhm.
We don't know. We're going to find out. Everybody's going to find out because it's going to be leaked. It's going to be leaked.
Oh, no, it's 100% can be. I hope so. Makes my job easier.
Juicy.
6:30, Talk 107.3 FM, ABC News coming your way right now, followed by local news, traffic, weather. We'll pick back up with Legally Served next.
So I had registered, paid a little deposit to go to the Holy Land in January.
You need to stop doing that.
Well, I get this. This will become a credit. So eventually I'll get to go. A credit. It's like investing, long-term investing.
It's like the 5th time you've had to cancel that trip.
This will be the 3rd cancellation.
Oh, okay.
Not 5. Get it right, Brian. Side note, I went to Stabs in Central yesterday.
Stabs in Central.
I had one of the biggest pieces of prime rib I've ever had.
Really?
Smoked. I've never had smoked prime rib. I've had it done the other way. Smoked.
I don't know that I've had smoked prime rib.
Dude. The Stabs in Central, shout out to those people because wow.
That would be Mr. David Ryan.
Yes.
That's my old buddy right there.
Yeah.
David and I used to work the other way back in the day. He's a good dude.
Not hating on the Stabs here.
No.
I'm just saying.
According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, there are 2.01 million people employed in the states. It's the all-time high for the number of non-farm jobs that are in Louisiana. That's Adam Knapp, who is the CEO of Louisiana.
All right, so we're working through. I screwed up and double booked. I need to get Jessica Domain in somewhere. So we're trying to see if she either moves up to 705 or moves down to 805.
Where do I know Jessica Domain from?
State rep from Thibodeau.
Oh, yeah. Kind of important. Do they get mad if you're like, hey, Jessica, I double booked. I have to put Dixon on first?
So in all honesty, Jessica was on the books first, but the Breck story is way too big locally right now.
Yeah.
So,
but Dixon's also a flexible human being. So
do what?
Dixon's a flexible human being.
Yeah, but I got him coming in studio. So I mean, it's a lot easier to reschedule a phone call than a trip downtown.
Yeah.
It's hot as balls in here today.
Is it?
Yes.
Or are you just going through the change?
Well,
I'm going through the change. Menopause.
Yeah.
Menopause. It's the thing. I'm serious. I want to get out with Jenny Richardson's folks and do some cleanup work.
Where's this stemming from?
They do cleanup work around.
I know what they do.
I just want to do some volunteer work.
Randomly, you want to join Keep Tigertown Beautiful?
No, I just want to do some volunteer work.
Okay.
I want to pick up some trash.
You know,
I'm all about Franz Borghardt's all about trash.
One Tuesday a month, we volunteer over here at Guarantee to go serve lunch at St. Vincent de Paul.
Love it. I would do that too.
Okay. I'll put you down for next month.
You call this soup? Oh, I wouldn't give this to homeless people.
I always work the end of the line to where I'm like handing off the
bread.
Well, because they'll serve like lunch and then like here's the to-go meal, so you have dinner ready for you. I work the to-go meal part because I'm lazy and that's just easier.
You didn't want to wear the gloves, or do you have to wear the gloves?
You wear gloves.
Franz, what's your legal specialty?
Criminal defense, criminal justice.
Speaking of
kicking ass and taking names.
Speaking of specialties,
Shark Week.
I want to talk to you about that later. Because I still don't have something good for it. Like there's no, it would just be, hey Franz, give me your money for no reason whatsoever. And I
like
don't feel
money.
comfortable with that.
I like money.
Oh, so do I, but I don't feel comfortable taking money for no reason. Estate lawyers.
Okay.
How much of a specialty is that? Like,
you just need a will.
No.
You need like a complex will, or you need to do a succession. You got to figure out what you need, and then I will be able to answer that question.
You and I was going to talk to like
best or best for your situation? Okay. Because best is going to be a tank that you may not need. You may just need a Mercedes or a Beamer. Yeah, or a Beamer.
I no longer have a Mercedes, so yeah.
I do like your car.
Well, it's only mine for
I'm kind of
one
like
more day.
I'm kind of like in mid-size SUV electric. It's a bit on my mind lately. I mean, I've got a beast.
You really want to revamp your house to put in a $20,000 charger?
I mean,
Do what?
Slate. You heard about that?
Oh, is that ready?
Huh?
I thought that got pushed back.
I thought it was coming out later this year.
I hope so.
It's like on pre-order. I think it's cool. Like just the idea, even it's electric.
Yeah.
Like just the idea of a bare bones like small truck is pretty good.
Talk 1073 weather.
That weather pattern is really changing. We are decreasing those rain chances and increasing. It's really going to be a rude awakening after highs have been topping out in the low to mid 80s today. We're going to get into the lower 90s. Combine that with humidity, it is going to feel even hotter. Now, rain chances.
I have a 3-week-long murder trial in Iberville.
Okay.
Just giving you a heads up. It should not disturb Wednesdays, but I'm giving you a heads up that it could.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, if we're giving heads ups, odds are the first Wednesday in August and the third Wednesday in August, I'm gonna be out of town.
Okay.
I'm doing my show, but on remote.
So I'm off those weeks.
Yeah.
A little bit more sleep. I like it.
The first Wednesday in August is not booked yet. The August 19th is. 637 Talk 1073 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Legally served with attorney Franz Borghardt rolling along. I think we covered the subpoena thing.
I love it.
In short time.
I love chaos.
In short order. Where do you want to go next, Franz? It's dealer's choice here.
I feel like we got to talk about neighbors behaving badly.
Okay.
Pastor Spell has a 50-yard boundary now.
Yeah.
You can't contain him.
So
you can't contain God.
So there's a protective order issued by the neighbor, right?
Right.
That means he can't come within 50 yards.
That's the document itself says that.
Right. So if Pastor Spell wants to hop on his lawnmower, he's going to have to leave a patch of grass uncut.
Depends on what 50. You know that somebody from that church yesterday was like, "What's 50 yards?"
Yeah.
What's 50 yards?
Well, actually, Keith, one of listener Keith was.
He lives on property.
He lives on property, but let's be very clear. His house is behind the church. If you're looking at it from the neighbor's point of view,
Is it a part of the church?
So,
is it like a rectory?
No, kinda.
Okay,
kinda.
Do we call it a mega church?
No.
Okay, so this means that if he crosses and comes within the 50 yards, he can be held in contempt of court and he can be charged with a new crime.
So,
what if God tells him to go across the street and lay hands on him?
Okay, let's stick with the law.
Okay.
All right, it's because there's like legitimate questions here.
Sure.
This means part of his property is off limits to him.
Yeah.
How?
Well, so the problem is, yes, you have your own property, and they'll probably challenge this.
But by the way, that dot is where that's the 50 yards.
I think the issue is more the behavior has led us to this point.
Oh,
right.
100%. Yes.
Right. So does it mean he can't cut his grass? No, he can cut his grass. He may not be able to be the one to cut his grass, but surely he can cut his grass. Surely he can go get the mail, right? The problem is it's the ticky-tacky poking at each other. And look, I don't blame somebody for wanting to be like, dude, you're cutting the grass at what time in the morning?
It's 4:00 in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, follow up. Any listeners in Central, if you ride up Hooper Road, would you look and see if there's actually a mailbox on that end of the driveway?
I wouldn't be
'Cause-
surprised. I wouldn't be surprised based on that area that a
Mhm.
mailbox would be on the road. Although normally, like with a church, you would have like a central office.
Correct.
And I mean, not just Catholic churches, any church has an office.
Right.
Like legitimate churches have
Well, but-
offices.
So if you're looking at here in this, and I know on the radio, this probably isn't good radio because you can't see the visual, but there's the church right here on the map. His home is like here.
Right.
And there's this Blackwater Road runs over here and intersects with
Mhm.
Hooper.
Mhm.
He's up his home is up Blackwater. So any mail going to his house is not gonna be a thing.
Right.
It's does the church have a mailbox over here is the only question.
So he is the moving 50-yard. So they're both. You got to imagine This is gonna sound so stupid. You got to imagine an invisible 50-yard circle
Right.
around both human beings.
Right.
What matters though is the victim or the neighbor. We'll call him the neighbor, the accuser, whatever we want to call him. He's moving. Now, he can't go on the church property to cause the pastor to not be able to be on his own property, right?
Right.
It's mainly don't come around me, don't come around my home.
Right.
So guys, he can check his mail. Somebody else could check his mail. Like, surely he's not the only one who cuts that grass. Surely he's not the only. I saw a bunch of boys in the video. You know,
The ones that were holding the shovels.
Yeah,
and
you remember the video
the ice
where he
picks and the
referred
axes
to
and-
the neighbor as a derogatory, insensitive, whatever hate
Yeah.
term.
Mhm.
On body camera footage.
Yeah.
So I'm not shocked by this. This is what happens when neighbors can't get along. Is we get to this point.
Go to this extent, though. I mean,
It's
for it
only
to
going to
be-
get. But you think it's done?
No, I don't. And this
You
is
think
why,
that there's escaping this?
this is why I'm asking about the cutting the grass on his own property, because I don't think for a second that he's not going to hop on that lawnmower again and say, "Come and get me."
I think he is going to be as close to the 50-yard boundary as he can get. That's his property in his mind. He can do what he wants. He's doing the Lord's work. That's his property. And I think it's going to be stuff like, hey, he's real close to the line. He's real close to the, it's that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
Now, the other thing is you have to keep an eye on the neighbor. What is the neighbor doing?
Okay, that's the other part of this from a legal perspective I wanted to talk about is, does it matter where the neighbor is? Because he's got to be 50 yards away from the neighbor's home,
I think
or 50 yards away from the neighbor.
matters where the home is. The neighbor is less the issue because, as I said earlier, yeah, he needs to stay away from the neighbor.
Mhm.
However, the neighbor can't go on church property or someplace he's not supposed to be. So the typical example is, where's the major grocery store out in Central? Is it a Rouse's or a
Oak Point?
Oak Point. They're both at Oak Point shopping.
Mhm.
Pastor sees this dude at Oak Point. He's supposed to go the other way and go away from the guy. That is what generally the common advice is, hey, you don't show up at the same place, you need to leave.
Okay.
It's more complicated when you have like parents that are going to a sporting event for their kid and they have a restraining order against each other. And it's like, hey, you can't go to your kid's football game.
Do you think there is a world in which the pastor doesn't push the limits of this?
No.
To me, this is where this is at. Okay, you're on a road trip with your family. Okay, and the kids in the back seat are doing the whole "I'm not touching you."
I think
don't touch your sister. I'm not touching, and their fingers like right in the face.
I think he's probably raising money right now to do a constitutional challenge to this decision.
Yeah,
that's number one. Number two, it's going to be poking, right? It's going to be the
100%.
So, like I said, he's going to know exactly where that 50-yard radius ends.
He has a history of begging for misdemeanors that get thrown out.
I'm looking forward to a Pastor Spell lemonade stand right at the boundary.
51 yards.
51 yards. I will drive my big butt out to Central and buy some lemonade if he does. On the record, Franz Borghardt, he's selling lemonade at the 51-yard line.
Yeah.
I'm going out to contribute. I'll contribute to the church.
It's going to be some good lemonade.
It's going to be spiritually nutritious.
It's especially sour.
Ugh.
We got to go along with that though, is what's the likelihood that he actively violates this just to test the law?
What's the likelihood of there being an allegation of violation?
Oh, that's 100%.
Right. We're going to end up back in court. Right. Which is, I know people get upset when I say this. You guys all listening and watching, you understand he's loving every minute of this. The pastor is loving every minute of it. And don't tell me, well, I mean, lawyers are expensive and all that. He's raising money. He's good. He'll be good. The church. I wonder if the church is paying for his legal fees. Like, is the
He is
tithe
the
basket?
church. Yeah. No,
He is the church.
He is the church. That's. I mean, it's his Life Tabernacle Church. So
Right.
It's
So it's like you reach into the basket and like here, attorney.
part of the legal fund. He's the one being
Right.
persecuted.
So my point is I think that we will definitely have an allegation of it, and I think we definitely will have a boundary violation. But I think that there's some arguments to, is there really a boundary necessary? So that's the other piece of this is this really necessary?
Yeah.
I think to some degree, yeah, it is necessary because the lawn mowing incident never happens. I think there's an argument for the neighbor to say, hey, look, I'm worried this guy's going to come back towards me. Okay, maybe. The lawnmower, I think that the icing on the cake, so to speak, was the body cam footage of the lawn care incident. And look, kudos to him for cutting his own grass. I don't cut my own grass.
Neither do I. I have allergies though.
I gotta be honest. I'm a little surprised that there are not church congregants or parishioners or whatever we call them that are cutting the grass for him. That's a thing. That's a thing.
Yeah, and you would think that would help out a little bit because it's a pretty big lawn.
Yeah,
maybe get 3 or 4 guys on it.
Lemonade stand.
So if there's not, and I would go back to, and we'll talk about Boosie in the next segment. I would go back to this though is, he has a history of going after getting a misdemeanor and then having it thrown out.
Mm-hmm.
Just pushing just enough past the edge of the envelope to where it could be reeled back in.
Well, the problem with violation of a protective order is that could land him in jail, like legit jail.
Like, but how good would that be for donation?
I mean, he could do God's work in the parish prison.
Those people need reform.
Jesus needs to be in the prison right now.
I understand. That would be a legit thing.
Lemonade.
15 seconds till break. Just the timeline this for me. Give it a week. Give it 2 weeks. What's your over under?
I think that in a week or two we're going to be talking about a new. I mean, because it died down a little bit. It died down a little bit, right?
I know.
Even with the lawnmower, it died down.
6:47. We'll continue Legally Served next.
How dare the Attorney General get my press?
Right?
I don't think it would be lemonade. Popsicles, pickles. Running through the house with a pickle in my. Have you gotten any texts as a result of that conversation? I'm just waiting. Oh, by the way, generally it's you or any of your agents can't go within that radius.
Keith, the same guy that sent the picture, sent the link to the donation page.
Sexual wellness offers discreet care to help men get back on track fast. Affordable plans start at $125 a month.
I didn't see whatever video y'all talking about. What exactly happened with the lawn mowing thing?
He was cutting his grass at 4 o'clock in the morning to piss off the neighbor.
Oh, y'all did tell me.
It's hot in the morning.
And the neighbor called the cops because it was loud. So a central police officer, or was it a sheriff's deputy? I think it was a central police officer, went out. And maybe it was a sheriff's. I don't know.
It was sheriff's deputy.
But one of them went out and was like, can you knock it off till at least the sun comes up? And Pastor Spell's like, this is all because he's just mad because I beat the crap out of his faggot son. It's like, whoa, dude, that's way out of bounds. Meanwhile, he's got 3 guys standing behind him looking like they're about to dig a grave.
Are those just children? I don't know. His boys. To be fair, I don't think the pastor has ever hidden out what he feels about LGBTQ. So, like, in terms of the scope of what the pastor has done that gets our attention, let's be honest.
The I-10 on-ramp will clearly see a bit more volume as we go. It's a minor backup beginning. Will remain in generally good shape for the moment. All right, now this report is sponsored by RockAuto.com.
I should have stood up. Damn it. Sitting too long. My stupid back.
This report comes to you from the Talk 107.3 Traffic Center.
100% fiber, 0% runaround.
Oh man, I gotta tell you, if the mailbox was that far away from my door, that would suck.
My mailbox is
Like I
have a slot in my door.
I get pissy that I have to open up my door and turn the corner and reach. That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work. I've thought about putting a mail. So I don't know if that's how that's regulated, but I've thought about putting a mailbox like towards the sidewalk, just like a little stone kind of something, a little feature. No Mary statues, just something, a little something. I get Tim on that.
In the door, or you want to put an actual box out front?
Like, okay, so I have a T-shaped sidewalk.
Yeah.
To the sidewalk, and I'm thinking like maybe like right here, a little mailbox.
So you want to go further away from your home?
Archway, little archway with the mailbox. An oratory, if you will. Byron writes, the pastor could open up an offensive driving course for bus drivers. +1, Byron. +1. Commercial. I wonder if he has a CDL for that bus. You have to have a limo like license for a bus. I don't know.
Yes, you do, and yes, he does. Good morning, Christy. Welcome in, Boo.
Are you cutting your own grass if you're doing a riding mower?
Yes.
I mean, but when you say I cut my own grass, there's a general image of you pushing, right? Not a riding. That seems more recreational.
No, it's still 100-degree heat.
Lots of bugs.
Yeah. Well, so from my end, the hard part is like when I would cut my own grass, I'd be out for 2 days, sneezing, congested. It just completely knocked me out. So. .652 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Legally served with attorney Franz Borghardt rolling right along. We got a third topic to get to this morning. Credit this one to Louisiana First News, where the headline reads, Baton Rouge rapper Lil Boosie seeks $300,000 refund from lobbying firm after failed presidential pardon. What?
So let's be honest. One, our president has befriended performing artists before.
Okay.
In the rap industry. That is a thing.
That is a thing, yeah.
So Boosie, we just to tee it up, Boosie had some federal charges.
Yeah.
He worked out something to where he was going to be on supervised release. For you guys, that's kind of like parole in the federal system.
Okay.
While on supervised release, there is a photo that emerges of him having a gun like in his back of his pants or his pocket. So he's looking at jail time. He's looking at revocation for having the gun. So he scrambles and someone says, hey, you should hire this lobbying firm. They're all about the pardons in Trump. It's a far right. It's a right wing lobbying firm. Okay. They take $600,000 of Boosie. There's an allegation, although it's unsubstantiated, that they were like, hey, we already got the pardon. It's on his desk, like waiting to get signed.
Yeah.
Right. So they never deliver. And in fact, they then later to the press say, hey, we got this congressman's like approval. We have this person's approval. We have this person's approval and endorsement. And then news people start going to these people and they're like, I don't even know who Boosie is. Right.
Wow.
Yeah. So there was probably some fraud here. Pardons are things like pardons or any kind of representation on this level. There's no guarantee. You can't guarantee. Like if it's a lawyer doing it, I can never guarantee anything. people want guarantees. They make you feel like Tommy Boy. Want a guarantee, make you feel good, right?
Feel good, yeah.
Yeah, right. Can't ever give a guarantee, right? Especially with something as uncertain as a president or a governor pardoning something.
Yeah.
So honestly, you know, and apparently like the contract they had had all these typos and like
what?
Yeah, it was very shady. The whole thing is sketchy. Now, do I leave room for the possibility that Boosie and his team heard what they wanted to hear? Like, hey, you know, because that sometimes happens.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, oh man, they're going to get us this pardon, you know, this, that, and the other. Yeah, sometimes people do that, but man, that's a lot of clams. $600,000 is a lot of clams.
And that's where I want to go is for $600,000. Shouldn't it be written somewhere in the contract what their deliverables are?
Well, I mean, the deliverable is one thing.
Correct. Is it going to be? I guess my question is this as simple as does the contract say we're going to try to get you a pardon, or does the contract say you're getting a pardon?
Franz Borghardt is not endorsing bribery of public officials.
Mm-hmm.
Campaign contributions, on the other hand, probably happen. There has to be some greasing of the wheels in this process.
I would imagine. It's,
right.
You donate. You give us this money, and it's going to get funneled to this pack and that pack. And
dude, Boosie's going to do a song about me,
right?
In the next hit. I mean, Hiller has a shout out in one of Boosie's songs.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, Franz Borghardt does not yet have a shout out in a rap song.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yet.
You're not working the right cases, man.
I know.
There's enough rappers in Baton Rouge.
I have represented a couple of C Murder.
You represented C Murder.
I was co-counsel on C Murder.
No way. How'd that work out?
Well, he was accused of murder.
Mm-hmm.
Attempted murder, sir. Attempted murder in Baton Rouge. Point is now they're claiming bankruptcy. We don't even have the money, guys. Yeah, I think he's probably entitled to some money back. The problem is, let's say they took the defense is going to be what? They took a huge, they're going to say, we took our shot with the president. We still are working on getting you a pardon. It just takes time. Who's to say that the president's not going to pardon you on his way out the door? The problem is
who? Joe Exotic. That's who.
Poor Joe. Joe's rotting. Those poor tigers.
You remember that?
Those poor tigers.
He hired a limousine parked outside the prison, just sat there looking out the window. Any minute now, Mr. President.
So the
damn Carol Baskin.
So I think that was more of a grassroots movement than a six. But even still, $600,000 is a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So they're now in arbitration. Jill Kraft, Jill Kraft represents Boosie.
Okay.
So they're arbitrating and fighting over like how much of this money does he get back? If in fact there is money, is there money?
Well, he's looking for $300,000 to come back to him. So that suggests to me that he's already paid it.
He's paid $600.
But if you can't get $300,000 back unless you've paid it already.
Right. I'm saying the firm may not have any money, and just like your father had some lines, poop in one hand, wish in the other, and ever squeeze blood out of a turnip?
Right.
That's what I think we're looking at here.
Okay.
I do think that what this will do is this will cast an interesting light on this process. Now, Trump can't pardon him now, right? Because it would be essentially
not until he's on his way out the door.
Yeah, hitching his horse to these guys.
Right.
And by the way, do people get hired? Do lobbyists get hired for this purpose? Yes. Both on a state level, I'm sure lobbying firms get hired to go negotiate or to go put in a good word to the governor or to put in a good word for the president. Yes, that is the thing.
Yeah.
I don't know that I think when they interviewed other lobbyists, it was like, man, that's a lot of money.
At the end of the day, is this just going to be a buyer beware scenario?
I think he got scammed.
Same.
I think he's not going to get $300,000 back. He may get a little money back, maybe not any money back. Are they going to be prosecuted? I mean, where do they get prosecuted?
Right.
They get prosecuted in D.C. They get prosecuted here. I mean, I'm sure the AG would champion this case for Boosie.
Maybe.
I don't know. She's busy.
Well, so my message to the lobbying firm: number one, Google the lyrics to set it off. Number two, try harder.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to screw Boosie over.
No,
like. No.
Kanye?
No.
He's attorney Franz Borghardt. We do Legally Serve about this time every week. Always appreciate it, brother. We are coming up on the top of the hour, which means hour 2 is on the way right after we check in with ABC News. That's coming up now on Talk 107.3. Yeah.
So, did you see my little T-shirt that I was? Somebody from our circle sent me this, and I was going to make a Borghardt law firm one.
Justice makes my bird twitch.
You don't get it?
No, I don't. Makes my.
You just think about it for a little while. Just think about it for a little while.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'm going to try.
So, you're in next week though? You don't know yet?
Quite sure that I will be here.
Okay.
The volatile thing about trials is it's not a 12-hour day.
Right.
It could be a 20-hour day.
Yeah.
And I'll give you a heads up. I'm more worried about I'm not worried about next week. I'm more worried about week 2. Because first week is jury selection begins.
Mm-hmm.
Murder for hire case in Iberville.
Murder for hire in Iberville. Okay.
Later, guys.
Later.
Now a check on your drive from the Talk 107.3 Traffic Center.
Traveling I-12 in from Walker and Denham Springs, backups beginning in the range area, tied across the Indian River. Things will move better once you get past that. A bit more volume on LA1 coming up from Addis to the I-10 interchange as well. No big I-10 problems into and out of the region. No major accident spots for the moment. We have picked up a crash with entry though, Sherwood Forest and Glen Haven. I'm Ray Renaro.
This report is sponsored by RockAuto.com.
Time for new brakes. The chain store never has what I need. No worries. Go to RockAuto.com for name brand and lower prices.
This report comes to you from the Talk 107.3 Traffic Center. Right now, here, pick your color, pick your side. RockAuto.com. Talk 107.3 weather.
That weather pattern is really changing. We are decreasing those rain chances and increasing the heat. It's really going to be a reawakening after highs have been topping out in the low to mid 80s.
Stand up.
Ah.
So much better than yesterday, but so far away from good.
It's not just sore, you actually like injure yourself.
You what?
It's not just
it's
sore, you actually
pulled,
injure
yeah.
yourself.
But like yesterday, I'd still be leaning on the table at this point. It's a much shorter turnaround now. All right, this problem might naturally solve itself. Yep. 7:05. Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Hour 2 coming your way right now. Brian here with you, Wilton producing. We made it through Legally Served without getting ourselves in too much trouble. Awesome. Appreciation of Franz, as always. We covered a lot of ground in a very short period of time. This hour, State Representative Dixon McMakin in our next segment, and Monroe Mayor Friday Ellis at 7:35. We're going to talk about with Friday Ellis from Monroe. Monday's announcement about Meta's data center doubling in size, quintupling in investment. Richland Parish teachers getting a $50,000 bonus each. How game-changing is that? But the bigger picture that I want to take a look at, or the bigger question I want to take a look at with Friday, is ripple effects an hour west. And this is in Richland Parish. It's just east of Monroe. It's east of Monroe by like about 40 minutes or so. So how much of that kicks back into the city? That's what we'll talk with Friday about right there. Dixon's coming in to talk about last night's Breck meeting. More to the point, he's got ideas. Don't just bring problems, bring solutions, and he's got one. Right now, it's time for Top Stories and Trending. Mm-hmm. Speaking of the Breck topic, a master plan to make significant changes to City Brooks Park is in the works by Breck. The Parks Commission brought in design consultants Sasaki Associates to develop a blueprint for what improvements to City Brooks might look like. There are two proposed designs. One's called the Big Loop. The other is called the Stitch. They were discussed last night in a meeting at Independence Theater over at Independence Park, just off of, I guess that's an extension of Government Street. I don't even know if it's called Independence, but you know where that Breck Park's at, right there by the Goodwood Library. State Representative Dixon McMakin has his own idea for a plan. We will talk to him in our next segment about it. The Ascension Parish School Board has approved one-time stipends for eligible employees. Certified employees are going to get $2,000 apiece. Support employees getting $1,000. Now, the plan as it stands right now is to find another $1,500 per before the end of the first semester of the upcoming school year. The judge overseeing Attorney General Liz Murrell's criminal case agreed to issue subpoenas to the special prosecutor and the New Orleans Parish District Attorney, apparently to determine what led to Murrell's 16-count indictment earlier this month. Special Prosecutor Lori White and New Orleans Parish District Attorney Jason Williams are going to have to, according to their appearance on WWL the other day, going to have to turn over emails, documents, text messages, and other requested records. According to Leaders for a Better Louisiana, the state's job market has hit an all-time high. We've now surpassed 2 million jobs in the state, 2.01 million technically non-farm jobs. The organization says the state added 16,700 over the last year, ranking fourth in the South, with much of the growth coming from construction. 19-year-old Sean St. Cyr, out on bond for allegedly raping a 16-year-old girl, was arrested for stalking a separate victim, arrest documents say. And surprise, surprise, he was supposed to have had an ankle monitor on as well. What you got?
All right. So a bill to make daylight savings time permanent has passed the House. No word yet on how it will fare in the Senate.
Let's just get this done.
Yeah, I'm ready for it.
Please. I can't beg enough to not have to fall back and roll and spring forward every single year. Don't care which one we go with. Now, they're going to keep daylight saving time. That's what the current bill says, keep daylight saving time. So when we spring forward, that's where we stop. We'll stop in what we're in right now before we roll back in, is it late October, early November, before we fall back again. It would hold with where it's at right now.
To my understanding, yes, exactly. That's what we were hearing from ABC this morning.
Yeah.
Looking at our Facebook comments, people feel the same way.
Yeah.
I also don't care which it is, as long as we can stop changing. I'm good with that.
Yeah. And it's just it's so outdated. I mean, what was that little thing that came along that made it outdated? Oh, electricity.
Yeah.
So for the time that we've had electricity, this has kind of been moot.
Yeah. The U.S. military said Tuesday that it has reimposed its blockade of Iranian ports in response to Iran's attacks on commercial ships in the Strait of Hormuz.
Rinse, repeat. It's gotten to the. I bought in early on this one. I thought this was going to be a 1 month, 6 week, maybe 2 month thing. But in hindsight, that was just foolish to think that. In hindsight, to think that anything in the Middle East can be over in a short period of time, just because you're not dealing country to country. You're dealing country to proxy. When you deal with Iran, you're dealing with terrorist outfits as well that connect to other countries as well. That's why when Iran returns fire, they don't return fire on the U.S., they return fire on other nations. And it gets so webbed out and convoluted, like the conspiracy theory chart from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. You know what that means? That's what this conflict is. If you were to put it on paper, that's what it would look like.
Yeah. So I think this next Wednesday is his new date for negotiations. So
yeah,
we'll keep an eye on that one for you guys. And then you probably saw this one, the viral video of the grandfather from Washington State. He was visiting in Yellowstone Park and chased and thrown by a bison. Dude goes like 8 feet in the air.
Yeah,
does a flip,
and his limbs like fully extended. It is. I mean, if it weren't so like horrific, it would actually be comical. Like if it weren't that, like that was it's a horrific scene to be sure.
I get what
but
you're
the way
saying.
everything, yeah. Okay.
No, it looks like a Looney Tunes. Like
Right.
It doesn't look real. Honestly,
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And then did you? I don't know which video you saw, but the one that I was watching had the guy who was filming it narrate it. So the bison throws the guy. The bison throws the guy, and then the bison's like on top of the guy after that. And the guy, it was at this point that I put the camera down. I'm like, oh, at this point. This point's when you put the camera down.
Dude. Did you hear anything? Is he okay? Is he in the hospital? Did you hear anything about what actually happened to him afterwards?
I was looking for every story that I saw on this one was 3 days old. Like it's been making its rounds on social media, but the event itself, I believe, happened over the weekend. And I've seen more follow up on the bison than I have on the grandpa.
Oh.
In fact, who is this? DailyBeast.com says the fate of the bison that tossed a tourist more than 8 feet into the air at Yellowstone National Park has been decided. According to TMZ, who is always on the bison beat, apparently. According to TMZ, Yellowstone Park officials confirmed that no management action will be taken against the bison, meaning he will not be put down.
I was wondering that if they have to do,
but he is on double secret probation. So,
because I think if a bear starts like attacking people, they have to, or like once a bear becomes acclimated, starts showing behaviors like that.
I'm no environmentalist. I'm definitely not a PETA guy, but this is their house. Like we're in their house, Yellowstone National Park. Like it's just, we're in the woods. They belong in the woods. Like if they're in my yard, I'd have a problem, but I'm in their yard. It's kind of the collateral risk that goes along with it. Is it not? I mean, am I wrong on that?
Well, I wish it never came to that, but the reasoning is a little more complicated. The reasoning, to my knowledge, is it's like bears. They're actually like incredibly smart, and when they learn that they can accost people for food, like they start going on the routes like typically traveled by people. They start seeking
anything
people out.
You feed is going to come back.
Well, yeah,
that's a given. Anything
it's a huge problem if that's a smart bear.
Well, okay,
seeking that behavior, seeking that food out.
Take a look at it in our backyard. Okay, we have a shark alligator rule on the show, right?
Right on.
Part of the genesis of that shark alligator rule was legislation that had to be passed by State Representative Stephanie Hilferty, legislation that had to be passed in our state's capital that said you're not allowed to feed the alligators in the 17th Street Canal or Lake Pontchartrain because more and more alligators were coming into populated areas because people would leave Deanies and throw them leftover catfish. You feed something, it's going to get closer to you and more acclimated to you. And then when there's no food to be given, that's when it eats your dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see both sides. I did want to mention real quick while we're talking about trending stories. I've talked about this a little bit at the top of the 6 o'clock hour, but in case you didn't see, 50 Cent, aka Curtis Jackson, he's been being talked about a lot because of his massive investment in Shreveport infrastructure in the downtown area there. A lot of like arts and entertainment things. He's setting up his studio, his G-Unit studio and all of this. Well, apparently what he tweeted on, it was a late Monday night. I'll quote it. It says, "There are people in Shreveport who just don't want things to get better.
Yeah.
I only make deals that make sense. I'm going to have to pull back on the Red River." So what he's actually saying there, we're going to have to wait and see, I guess. He's being a little cryptic about it.
Yeah.
But we'll definitely keep an eye on that because a lot of people in Louisiana are.
Well, and it was really appearing like he was going to save downtown Shreveport because he bought up blocks on end of downtown Shreveport.
I hope it goes through. I hope whatever the friction is can get resolved and like that deal can go kind of the way we were hoping. Yeah. I think most people in Louisiana were hoping that goes that way.
Downtowns have to constantly reinvent themselves. You don't have the big department store downtown anymore. That's not your shopping hub. It's not what it was. It's not Miracle on 34th Street anymore. That's not where we live. 716 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Quick break. When we come back, Breck had a huge meeting last night talking about the City Brooks Park plans. Well, there's a third option on the table. State Representative Dixon McMakin's in studio next. Good morning. I had a Axe Corps meeting at Mercy last night, so I was driving past at 8 o'clock, and it was still like the parking lot was still full. Monday in the break room at 8:30. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Don't worry. Thank you. The McMakin plan. Great name.
All I did was I just took 2 plans and went yes, no, kind of on everything.
Yeah.
And shoved that in the middle. And now everyone's like, this really makes sense. But they are committed to Sasaki finishing their work. And it's just, well,
Be nice.
Wait, the track is in the same place in all three.
Yeah, so
I don't know why I thought the track was more centrally located in yours.
No, they have a track, but in the big loop plan, they put trees in the middle of the track.
That's stupid.
I'm like, I don't know what we're doing. And then my favorite was the railroad crossing over Dalrymple they want to do. I talked to the people at Kansas City Road, like they've never talked to us about that. And so you're like, how are you gonna change the road if you never talk to the road? That's what they do. Like they get to do this and they get to throw it out there.
You don't change railroads.
They've
been there for a billion years. You just deal with it. That's why our riverfront sucks ass.
Comes to you from the Talk 107.3 Traffic Center.
Relief Windows, locally owned and operated. Visit reliefwindows.com.
Welcome back, Mornings Without Brian Haldane, of course, our favorite show of the year.
Oh. Please tell me that was hot.
You saw it on Facebook. I didn't put it.
Do it.
Mornings, welcome back to Mornings Without Brian Haldane. Dixon McMakin now filling in your favorite hour of the show. We talk Brian to the curb, and we talk real.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Step away for 1 second to fill up my glass of water. I got to hydrate, Dixon. I got to hydrate.
Very important.
Welcome in. How are you this morning?
Hey, great, Brian. Thanks for having me.
Late night last night?
Late night, good night. Had a great community meeting. You mentioned at Breck. Had over at Independence Park. Hear from a lot of people. And, of course, proud to put out 2 days ago the McMakin plan. And now we're going to talk about it and make sure we can try to see this through to the end.
How much room is there to make adjustments. I mean, nothing's been done yet, but as far as plans being adopted and whatnot, the loop in the stitch, we hear it, regularly. And there's parts of both that I like. Oh, by the way, but is there room to just say, let's throw out the loop in the stitch and roll with the McMakin plan?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Breck right now in the planning process is going to throw them out.
Right.
They've obviously paid Sasaki a very substantial amount of money to do their planning process.
Mm-hmm.
So to see that through, but then once it gets to the group that will make the decision on the master plan, then ultimately, the Breck board has to make that decision of what they want to do, if to adopt the full master plan, parts of it. I think having that third option, the McMakin plan in there, will be crucial for the success of this project.
You were at the meeting last night.
Yep, was there.
Okay, so tell me a little about, let's start with this. Vibe. Hostile, angry, cool, chill. What was it like?
Compared to your normal legislative meeting that we have at the Capitol, pretty normal for me, I guess. For people that don't get to go through that too often, might be unique. I thought the crowd was nice. One lady just kept yelling, like, talking to the mic. I mean, after every speaker. So it kind of was, when is she going to yell it? But yeah, I thought the crowd was fine. I was speaker number 51.
Ew.
I believe at the end of it, it was about 60 speakers that spoke, 2 minutes apiece.
Okay.
A little back and forth from those people. Overall, was very proud that the McMakin plan got some shout outs from other people.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody thought I planted them there or paid them to be there. I did not, didn't even know some of the people that spoke on the plan. And so that was very encouraging for me to hear other people talk about that.
We're going to talk about what the McMakin plan is specifically in just a little bit, but just to kind of recap from last night's meeting, one of the things I can't do with the public meetings is there's so much repetition. There's so much repetition. You'll hear over and like, please, if somebody has already shared this thought, just move on. And they don't.
Yeah, well, that's part of the process. I mean, we do it at the Capitol all the time on a bill. Someone will come up there and say the same thing on a bill, but you have to let that person tell you what their thoughts are and what their feelings are. So you may not like it. I kind of like it because I think once you see the same consistent answer, that it's the same thing on someone's mind, that's got to resonate with leadership of what the people are wanting.
And then just submit the comment card. I'm sorry. I got soured during the poor Caleb Klein, Peter. Got soured during the redistricting. It was over.
And I was there with Senator Klein, Peter, the whole time till 4:30 that morning.
Right.
I was there the entire time, but that is part of our process, and I think it's great.
Oh, all right. Well, we can. It's. I just
we now know Brian Haldane will never serve on elected bodies.
I know. I don't have the patience for it.
Public comment.
I don't have the patience for it. State Representative Dixon McMakin is in with us. All right. So let's start. Let's go to what is the McMakin plan? What makes it different?
Yeah, I think so. Even last night, a few people mentioned it. You have the big loop and you have the stitch, and they all kept talking about where's the other option? Like, where's the other one? Right there. There needs to be, it seems, this sense of another option that takes a little bit of both and a compromise.
I mean, it's like an episode of House Hunters.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. So you go to one, you go to two, and that third one that magically appears. Did you know they already probably buy those houses before?
I actually know that for a fact because of someone that bought a house right here in Beauregard town. There was a House Hunters that was local, and it was like, we had already purchased the house by the time we did the show.
All right, we digress. So that's what we did. So went through both plans. Both plans lay out kind of details over, I think, 34 items on each plan. Went through each item, and I put a yes, no, or a kind of on each one. And so when you do that, you put the yes, no's together. You throw all the yeses onto one image, and then that's what we get with the McMakin plan.
Okay, so the yeses that run through the McMakin plan, it looks like when it comes to overall amenities or when it comes to overall what each park has, it's narrowed down a little bit. It's more centralized because for the big loop and the stitch, you've got a lot more listed among the yes or no. So you just narrowed down to the yeses.
Yeah, and of course, I think the biggest part of my plan, one of the things that I delete almost substantially is anything to do with the wetlands area of the bayou. And I said this last night. Look, just calling the area of water that's over there by hole number 5 a bayou, calling it a bayou doesn't make it a bayou. That literally is drainage runoff from over there by the railroad track. And so to think that we're going to elevate that area with a waterway that people are going to want to be around, I have talked to no one that wants there to be in our hot, humid climate, another area for mosquitoes to be around this park. So that one makes no sense to me at all. So really, that was a lot of the no's that we took out.
Okay.
And then the biggest part for me was, obviously, I talk about the priorities. The number one priority for me is the Brooks Park side of City Brooks Park. Putting the track over there that doesn't have trees in the middle of a track. We currently do not have a public track, true full-size public track that the public can just walk out onto and use at any time they want. That does not exist in East Baton Rouge. We have tracks that might be considered public because they're at public schools.
Yeah.
But if you right now wanted to just go to a track and walk out there and go run a mile on a track,
which
good
I'm
luck
known to
finding
do.
one. Exactly. Not going to happen right now. That to me is a big part of this plan. And then, of course, the Brooks Pool area. You know, we hear about Liberty Lagoon all the time over on Independence Drive. Well, that's over on that part of town. You know, what is it for South Baton Rouge and the historic nature of Brooks Park? Been doing a lot of research of the historic nature of that, going back to really 49, 50s and why it was there, the segregation of the pool that we had at the time. We went over there this past weekend. Pool, let's be honest, looks like crap. Hasn't changed in forever. They've actually reduced it over time. There's land out there, making that priority number one on that side, part of the McMakin plan.
So the Brooks, the Brooks Pool, I didn't even know existed until we started talking about the revamping of the whole park, because it's literally behind everything. It's like the back of the park.
Yeah, another big part of the McMakin plan is getting from Dalrymple to the Brooks Park side right now. You know, if you're going to travel over there, you either have to go down Laurie Burgess Avenue, around a couple homes, or you go through the park on the other side of the railroad, back over the railroad track.
But then you have to leave the park and come back into
the park.
Yeah.
So that's the idea that neither the Big Loop or the Stitch have. You cannot get a car or a vehicle or have direct access to the track side. They call it a canopy walk. Sorry, no one's going to be walking on a canopy from Dalrymple over to the track.
No.
It still keeps it confined. My plan, biggest one, is open that up and make it clear.
I'm not even. Is the pool even in the Stitch?
Yeah, it's over there to the left.
Oh, wait. Okay. Yes, it's so trivialized though. Is there an opportunity to make that bigger and better?
Yeah, that's the idea.
Like more like adding splash pads alongside the pool, like not full on Liberty Lagooning it, but making it its own.
Yeah,
thing.
we have a splash pad. Look out there right now at City Brooks Park behind the art gallery right now. Guess what? Doesn't work. Shocker, because the plumbing's not good. But if you put a splash pad over by a pool area that already has the pipes, the plumbing for all that, it can be better. Even over there, too, there's like a baby-covered canopy for people. I was thinking about in the neighborhood, you want to just have like a little birthday party or something out there. I mean, that really is not set up for that right now. And by the way, I would encourage people to go over there and look at it. Unfortunately, as my wife and I went out there, it looks like a prison. I mean, it is one of the most unwelcoming spaces I have seen, and that is just such a disservice to that part of Baton Rouge.
McMakin plan, golf course, stays the same, basically?
So, yeah, stays the same, kind of. I want to say what I call make it better. Neither plan addresses East Lakeshore Drive. So in my plan, another big part of this is to one-way East Lakeshore Drive. When you do that, you take out those green-looking pole things that we have. You get rid of some of those bushes. The vision behind this was the visits I've had down to New Orleans and what we've done in New Orleans on St. Charles Avenue and Audubon Drive Park over there, magazine that runs through Audubon Drive. You have the joggers that are right next to the golf course right there. And there is no conflict at all. But the reason you could do that in this plan is you one-way East Lakeshore, make that one-way. You have a little more space, get rid of some of those bushes, get rid of those green pipes. And to me, that is really a game changer of this area, that you can then have those runners who have a dedicated bike path on Perkins. They don't have anything on the East Lakeshore Drive. So right now you're competing with runners, bikers, and cars. Let's make that safer for everybody.
Residents around there, does that jack them up?
Yeah, I've been meeting with the residents. These are my voters, right? Everyone that's east of Dalrymple is in District 68. This is my area. Talk to those people. Really, since this plan has been thrown out there, I think in April's when they first got to see it, nonstop communication with the residents around there. And so far, I have their support to continue on the McMakin plan.
We got about a minute and a half left with State Representative Dixon McMakin. And so how do you, aside from last night's meeting, how do you go about moving this forward, moving it as to be an option?
Yeah, so to keep encouraging, and of course, with the group that's over the master plan, the commissioners, and then getting the legislative body as well, right? This area is represented by 4 people, 2 reps, 2 senators. Unfortunately, Senator Larry Selders has passed now, but already had talks with him before. Rep. Terry Landry, that represents the West Side, and Senator Franklin Foyle, who put out a letter to the editor and said, keep the golf course. So now you have a state rep and a state senator that say, we'd like the golf course to be kept. Of course, BREC is a state body, so it will be interesting to see what happens when the state leadership is telling you, hey, we want to keep that golf course whole. What will happen going forward?
Important reminder on the back end right there that BREC is a state body. That's it. So jacked up. Look, we have a great partnership with BREC. We bring them in every Monday because they're doing so much all the time. But it's BREC, BR, right there in it. It just belongs here. In the meanwhile, greatly appreciate the time.
Yeah, thank you so much, Brian. Have a good one.
You do the same. State Representative Dixon McMakin from District 68 putting out his plan for the City Brooks Community Park. All right, we'll take a quick break on air. You're going to have ABC News, local news, traffic, weather. We take you up to Monroe. Mayor Friday Ellis joins us next. Hey, Wilson Kill.
Speaker 54 walks in.
53.
My God,
So
best.
737 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. We're expecting Monroe's Mayor Friday Ellis any moment now. Should have him on the phone. Friday was at the Meta press conference with the governor, LED, of course, representatives from Meta, whole boatload of people from Richland Parish. There he is right there, Wilton. Whole boatload of people from Richland Parish as they announced they were essentially quintupling their monetary investment and doubling the size of the data center up that way. So got him right here and going to have him on right now, in fact. So Monroe's Mayor Friday Ellis is with us. Good morning. How are you, sir?
Good morning, brother. Rolling into work sideways. It's been a busy couple of days.
I would imagine so. I mean, we pulled you all the way down to Baton Rouge on Monday. Let's recap the big announcement and what the investment that Meta is making. Just top to bottom, the what they're throwing our way.
Yeah. So, if you remember, I've been on your show a couple times and told you I didn't have to be a fortune teller to read the tea leaves to know that this project that started at $10 million, financed at $10 billion, financed at $27 billion through Blue Owl. And then when the president holds up a sign in his a picture showing 75% of Manhattan's footprint and saying it will be a $50 billion investment almost a year ago, people should understand that this is not just another data center for Meta or the country. This is the central nervous system to Meta's future global operations. There are 3 data centers that they're building, and a lot of it has to deal with latency, and I want to nerd you out with all of this. But a $50 billion investment into a part of this state, and let's just say the country, that seriously needed an injection of capital investment, jobs, and opportunity for our people. I cannot be more proud of this moment, not only for the state of Louisiana, but for our people to be able to have a direct pipeline into jobs and opportunities that will truly change the stars and outcomes for so many people in a rural, cash-strapped part of this country that desperately needed this. And I, as a leader, I cannot tell you the excitement that I have to be able to shepherd our community and this region through this investment.
Monroe's Mayor Friday Ellis is on with us. So from Monroe to the site, how far of a drive is that?
It is 30, maybe 32 minutes. So folks I'm sorry, I always joke with my friends in Baton Rouge. I said, you can't even go to the grocery store and back in 30 minutes. So
easy now.
But hey, look, they're good problems to have. That just means that there are people who still live there, who still work there, that commute in and commute out. And that is a sign of a healthy economy. And so again, if these traffic issues, I say issues, I kind of laugh, because I've lived in parts of this country where, this is nothing. And it's 30 minutes down the road.
Right.
If you look at our region, Ouachita Parish is the employment hub, the population hub, the healthcare hub. And so we all as a region, come together around workforce, and people drive into Monroe. Now people will be driving from Monroe into Richland Parish.
Well, I asked that question because I want to make the comp here. It's not that much different from someone living in Prairieville or Denham Springs and commuting to the other side of the river to go work at a plant.
Correct.
I mean,
Correct.
if you map it out time wise, it's really on par. It's not that much different. So it's kind of a reverse commute. You're not going from the burbs into the city, but it's still a similar time frame as far as it's not so far out there, but it's also not right on top of you either. It's kind of the best of both worlds on that front.
Correct. And so here, I'd like to cover a piece that most of the public does not get to see. Everybody is talking about now the 1,000 jobs. They're like, it's so massive, but and I chuckle a little bit when they say it's only 1,000 jobs.
Right.
Those are 1,000 jobs directly tied to Meta employees. Each of those jobs have a multiplier effect of 3 or 4. In this case, very interesting. Since the announcement, there have been about 70 RFPs, requests for proposals, of businesses that will vendors and suppliers who will be contracted by Meta to service this site through cloud compute, IT security type services, low voltage cabling, electrical, HVAC, you name it, security services, you name it. Those 70 RFPs equal, the total of all RFPs equal an additional $30 billion in CapEx and the potential for 15,000 new jobs of service-related industries to be set up around this campus to service this campus. Now, will we get all of those? Probably not. Will they land in the region, meaning South Arkansas, maybe West Mississippi, somewhere around, simply because of availability of land? Most likely. And so I don't think people can truly wrap their heads around not only the size of this and the scale of this, but also from a municipal standpoint, the speed at which we have to turn when it comes to providing water, sewer, roads, infrastructure to support this new industry that's coming in.
Well, I mean, on its very most basic level is, if you have 1,000 new employees, you have 1,000 new checking accounts open, you have 1,000 new homeowners or renters, you have 1,000 new closings on those homes. Correct. You have 1,000 new everything that comes along with having someone move into the neighborhood. Yeah. So, I mean, the after effect of that is, even if it's not secondary jobs, it's added businesses for the jobs that exist, which is secondary income throughout the entire region.
Yeah. Think about the trailing spouse that comes that may have a job that they're mobile, right? They're working from home. Or one that may backfill a critical need, like an educator in our schools, that we need more certified educators, or an accountant, or a physician to backfill critical roles. Their husband or wife may be a nurse or a physician. And so we forget about that trailing income from the spouse that gets injected into our community. Mm-hmm. And from a school standpoint, children now within our school systems, their philanthropic dollars, our families' philanthropic dollars, their volunteerisms in our community. There is so much that we discount when it comes to investments like this and bringing new people in and upskilling and employing people here that may be, underemployed, or the potential to change their careers to be able to meet the needs of this new demand.
Monroe's Mayor Friday Ellis on with us, talking about Meta's quintupling down of investment into Northeast Louisiana. Can we go back to some of the original questions when the center was first announced? Because power generation was a question that came up and has since been answered. When you double the size of it, what happens on that front? Are they still going to be able to do what they promised on the front end when they, double up on the back end?
Yeah. So there's a lot of positives around why they chose this site, right? Water being one of them, right? This is for everybody listening, this is a closed loop system. Think about your radiator in your car. You're going to make the initial draw, fill it up once, and then whenever you have to top it off because of heat dissipation, you're going to top it off based upon what water loss, but it is a recycled water plant. Second, it sits on top of the Mississippi alluvial aquifer, which has a recharge rate of about 800 million gallons a day. Yeah. The farmer that was there before it had about 27 wellheads punched into that ground, and he was farming rice. And guess what you need a lot of when you farm rice? Water. Yeah. So that farmer was using far more water through his records, and he'll tell you straight up he was using more water than this data center will use on a daily basis. And so let's put that to bed. Right. Secondly, from natural gas turbines powering this thing, we have an abundance of natural gas here. But I think the key here is the Public Service Commission and the governor, and with their work through Entergy and Meta, to ensure that the utilities built there will be paid by the developer, meaning Meta, and Entergy, to not have that cost share put on the burden on the taxpayers. Now, holding them to that is not the job of the mayor. Now, I will speak my mind about it. Yeah, it's the Public Service Commission, and we need to ensure that they are held to the promises that they have made to the state of Louisiana, and I'm sure they will. But we just need to ensure that we're not left on the hook for this power generation, and we'll see through it. But if you pay attention to some of the nuclear bills that are kind of running through, there's no way around this to scale to meet demands if we're not talking, cheap energy. So that's who's going to win in this quote arms race, is those who can produce the cheapest, cleanest power.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually I would love to see a model, if it includes nuclear, that can actually put power back on the grid to actually give back to the communities that are around there that are serving, to lower their cost of living through their utility bills within the region.
We've got about 2 minutes left with Monroe's Mayor Friday Ellis talking about Monday's announcement on Meta. Mayor Ellis, I want to ask you about you sticking with the power into this, the power generation into this. It spoke volumes to me that Entergy was on stage with Meta, with the governor, with Susan Bourgeois. Entergy making themselves visible and present tells me that they're ready for that accountability. They want to set the tone for not just the Meta project, but what's to come anywhere Entergy is.
Correct. And I do believe, as a company, whether you're Meta, whether you're Oracle, whether you're AWS, whoever you are, they are starting to listen to the growing concerns of communities fitting the bill for power.
Mm-hmm.
If our data center footprint will have to grow across the country, they will continue to have to make provisions and give reassurances to communities that they will not fit the bill for future power generation.
Right.
I think they will have to meet the challenge. I think they're ready to meet the challenge. Because if we're going to continue to grow, you're going to have to put these local community concerns to bed, or else you'll continue to see communities pass resolutions to where they don't want data centers within their footprint. And when that happens, these type things go across the sea. They go to Canada. They go to Mexico. We saw what happened through NAFTA and a couple other trade deals that went south. We saw what happens whenever so many restrictions are put here in the U.S. that everything goes everywhere else. And those jobs, those careers, those opportunities will live everywhere else. And once again, we will be the Sears Roebuck model. It's either Sears or Amazon. Who are we going to be? Are we going to adjust with the times in the future of development in this industrial revolution?
Yep.
Or will we rise to the challenge and create these opportunities for our families? I think we're ready to meet that opportunity.
Couldn't agree more. That's the thing about the World Wide Web, is it is worldwide. He is Monroe's Mayor Friday Ellis. Always appreciate the time, man. We'll talk soon.
Thank you, brother.
Yep. Thank you. Appreciate it. Oh, my goodness gracious. Whew. Kind of a big deal. $50 billion is kind of a big deal. It is time for Your Money Now. 750 at Talk 107.3 FM. Let me see Rick real quick. Oh. All right, Facebook. Got to talk to y'all for just a quick second. I'm looking to take my show up to Monroe in the near future. I got to figure out a way to get in there. I got to figure out a way to get over to the Meta data center just to put eyes on it, get a tour of it, whatever. But I want to rewind the clock by 2 years. If not for Washington Mardi Gras, I don't have a friendship with Friday Ellis. That all started with Washington Mardi Gras 2 years ago, and he's been a regular on the show since then. Keeping us up to speed on how they're evolving in Northeast Louisiana and how it affects the rest of Louisiana. State's not that big. We could touch in with every corner of the state regularly because it all eventually funnels back to right here in the capital. But yeah, my first interaction with Friday was Washington Mardi Gras 2 years ago. So as we do Washington Mardi Gras every single year, that's part of the beauty of it, is that interconnectivity, making the state smaller by putting everybody in that one Hilton. It's awesome. I'm such a huge proponent and will always be. Plus, we get to do a whole bunch of shows from there. So, every year, do 4 shows from the Washington Hilton. We sell advertising packages and everything. It's awesome. It's a pretty good revenue generator for us. Do what? I mean, there's a lot of things that are like ticketed items, invite-only items, but there's nothing stopping anybody from walking around the Hilton.
When you do a remote show like that, like you just do it on the phone or what?
I do it on a Comrex. So you see how the microphones have a side A and a side B? Side B, or maybe it's side A of microphone 2 is the Comrex, which feeds into the tech core over there and then into the board from there. Carol says, funny, wasn't it? I assume he's talking about the bison attack. Yeah, I know. Like it's not funny, but when you watch the dude fly, it has like cartoon characteristics. Haggai says, what's wrong with nerding out? Absolutely nothing. That's what we do here. 15,000 new jobs is amazing. Yup. .655 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. I'm sorry, 7:55. Did I just say 6:55? I got all out of kilter looking at the Mountain Time Zone on my clock here. Sorry about that. 7:55 at Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. We're gonna get you to ABC News coming up at the top of the hour. In our third hour, State Senator Rick Edmonds, he had himself one heck of a legislative session. We're gonna take a look at a couple of the bills in particular. At 8:15, and then we're going to look ahead to the November ballot, where you will find him in Congressional District 6 as he looks to move into that seat. Also, next hour, Congresswoman Julia Letlow, currently serving in Louisiana's 5th, going to be on the ballot on the Senate side. But we got a lot to cover with the Congresswoman today, not talking at all about the election, but DC Current presented by the Louisiana Association of Business and Industry. Check in on what our representation is doing for us up in our nation's capital. Before we get you to our next news item, got to remind you that Industry Makes is a campaign born out of collaboration and a need to present a united industrial front in the face of coordinated and anti-industrial messaging. We see it every single day. It's the same players every time pop up, but we do nonetheless see it every single day. Now, we understand that the anti-industrial messages might be targeting one company at a time, trying to pick off one, pick off another, but it hurts overall business up and down the river. That's where Industry Makes comes in. It is basically a coordinated messaging system. If you visit industrymakes.org, you can break down a lot of the myths that are out there, bust a lot of the myths that are out there. For example, how many times have you heard the term Cancer Alley? Well, what are the cancer incidence rates in Cancer Alley? They're actually lower than the rest of the state. A little myth busting, a little accurate information, a concerted effort by industry to help industry, because that is the backbone of Louisiana's economy. You can learn more at industrymakes.org. So one of the bigger stories of the morning this morning has been the non-farm jobs topping 2 million, 2.01 to be exact. Our news partners at Louisiana Radio Network caught up with Adam Knapp, CEO of Leaders for a Better Louisiana, who says this number is a major milestone And it's growth in the construction industry that's being highlighted right now. Cut 10, please.
Obviously, the big Meta data center project that's up near Monroe, big LNG projects that are under construction, multiple ones over in the Lake Charles region, and a huge industrial expansion happening in the capital region.
So Knapp says Monroe posted the fastest job growth of any metro area. We just talked with Friday Ellis, fueled by the construction of that Meta data center. He says 6 of the state's 10 metro areas added jobs, while Houma and Shreveport are among the 4 that lost. Cut 11.
Generally, I think overall, we'll still see an expansion everywhere. They've had pretty big economic development projects also in Houma and Shreveport, so we expect we're going to see upticks in those regions over the coming year.
Which kind of makes the news that Wilton had for us earlier about 50 Cent running into all kinds of problems in downtown Shreveport. That had the potential to be a significant job maker. Could have been really, really good for Shreveport's downtown. Not that I think the door is closed on that. It's just not in the best of spots right now. While the construction boom has boosted employment, Knapp says he's concerned Louisiana ranks among the lowest in the South for new business applications since 2019.
Is a good signal of stable economic activity, but you want to see that that's also turning into new business activity, businesses being started at a faster rate.
The thing that I'm looking at, though, is if he started in 2019, that's pre-COVID. A lot changed during COVID, and a lot more changed in 2023 when we got a new administration in. When Governor Jeff Landry was elected governor and Susan Bourgeois was made head of LED, we've seen nothing but just plowing through announcement after announcement, investment after investment. And the beautiful part about construction jobs leading the way is when they're building something to house something. And if they're housing something, there's going to be permanent jobs on the back end. So it's going to ebb and flow a little bit, but it's going to continue to be on an upward trajectory, to be sure. We're coming up on 8 o'clock at Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. We'll break it for news. When we come back, hour 3 is going to start off with This Day in History. Then we'll have State Senator Rick Edmonds in the house. You're listening to, as we broadcast live from the 180 Pro studio, you're listening to Talk 107.3 FM. Meow. Oh. What you say? You doing good? Barely. You been all right?
You saw Dixon out in the parking lot.
Yeah, he came on to crap all over Breck. So we just got to knock out a history, a little this day. You're more than welcome to come on in. Well, we just got one more segment before yours. So when everything got pushed back to November, hey, Wilton, kill off the mics to make sure there's nothing hot. 806 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Hour 3 coming your way right now. Brian here with you. Wilton producing. We got a busy third hour this hour, y'all. State Senator Rick Edmonds had himself quite the legislative session. There's a couple. We're not going to have enough time to get to all of them, but there's a couple of bills that I want to talk about with him coming up at 8:15. Also, kind of want to set the table. He's running in the 6th congressional district. Let's set the table for what that race is going to look like. Rick Edmonds coming up 9 minutes from right now. Right now, though, it's time for This Day in History. Let's hit it. All right, Wilton. What you got?
All right. Little bit of everything today. I'll take you back to 1799 first. Do you know what?
17. Well, I'm having trouble getting to my page because my page sent me some pop-up over it. So,
all right. Well, I got you for now.
All right.
The Rosetta Stone was found in the Egyptian village of Rosetta by French Captain Pierre Francois Bouchard.
Okay.
This is during Napoleon's Egyptian campaign. The Rosetta Stone, of course, it had oh my goodness, I forget what the actual text was, but it was 3 different languages of Egyptian hieroglyphics and Greek. And so they were able to translate that into English and start translating Egyptian hieroglyphics for the first time because of that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very crazy.
Let's see. We got 1806. You remember this one from United States history class? Zebulon Pike began his journey to explore the American Southwest.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I remember
nobody names their kids Zebulon anymore.
I was about to say, I remember that one from class because Zebulon was always my favorite name.
Yeah, I was this close to naming my son Zebulon.
All right.
We went with James.
You almost did it?
Almost. So close.
You'd be the last in every class
right.
roster.
Yeah.
So this is going to be the theme for today's This Day in History. This was interesting as I was putting this together. Got an aviation theme going today.
Okay.
Big theme here. So first item on the list right there is 1916, the Pacific Aero Products Company, later renamed to the Boeing Company, founded by William Boeing in Seattle, Washington.
Very nice.
All right. And then let me see. I'll take you through all the aviation ones I have first. 1933, Wiley Post begins his first solo flight around the world. He ends up later completing the journey in 7 days, 19 hours.
All right.
1952, the first transatlantic helicopter flight begins.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Transatlantic helicopter flight.
Helicopter flight.
Why would there be a need for that?
So you could be the first.
I know, but all right.
Let me see. Oh, 1954, first commercial jet transport plane built in the U.S. was tested. This is the Boeing 707.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I think that was all of the aviation ones I had, but weird that they all happened today in history, right?
Yeah, it's a lot for one day for sure.
Now,
all right. Britannica's not letting me get to their page.
I'll take it off the theme for a little bit. I got some arts and entertainment theme ones for you now. 1972, Elton John's first #1 album in the United States. This is Honky Chateau.
Oh, wow. All right.
Die Hard was released in 1988.
Yes, it was.
Wedding Crashers was released in 2005.
Also true.
In 2016, Stranger Things, the TV show, debuted.
Man, that was really good for like 2.5 seasons. And then it just, I'm sorry, I got off the train with Stranger Things. It got, I don't know, repetitive.
My hottest take of the day is that I never watched it.
Okay. Wow.
By the time I like heard enough about it, it was like 3 seasons in, and it was controversial, and like it seemed like a big commitment.
The first season was worthwhile. The second season was worthwhile. Once you start the third season, and you're like, this is exactly the same thing over again, but the kids are growing up now. So
it seems like something I would like, but I don't know.
No, everything about it. I think you would. It was for a 1 or 2 season run, absolutely great. But just to keep repeating the same plot lines and same, like, eventually kids need to get off the bicycles because they have their driver's license. And then it's not like, it loses its appeal.
I missed 2.
It'd be like having a sequel to Stand By Me.
Oh, yeah. I skipped over 2 because I was trying to stay on my aviation theme, but I thought this was kind of interesting. In 1922, the first duck-billed platypus publicly exhibited in the U.S. at the Bronx Zoological Park.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
Yeah, and then I have one more. Oh, in 1959, the U.S. steel strike of 1959 begins.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was our first time actually importing foreign steel.
Do you know what happened on this day in 2012?
Yeah, Korean pop singer Psy released the
There it
Gangnam
is.
Style.
Gangnam Style was released on YouTube on this day in 2012. Whoop.
It topped the chart in over 36 countries,
Mhm.
and for a long while, it was the most popular video on the history of YouTube.
Yeah. Yep. We just got like completely overrun with Gangnam Style on this day in 2022. All right. Also, you had Die Hard, you had Wedding Crashers. There's something about Mary. Was 1998. Birthdays. What you got?
Actually, the Dutch painter Rembrandt was born on this day in history.
Interesting. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Let me see. I got. Wait.
Forrest Whitaker.
I have Forrest Whitaker.
Forrest Whitaker, 65 years old today.
I'm losing her name. What's the? Oh man, never mind.
Her name. How old? 1800s?
No.
1850?
1946. I have the actress. I like typed it in my notes and then I
no
Linda
worries.
Ronstadt.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Sorry.
Born on this day in 1850 would be one Mother Frances Xavier Cabrini, the first American saint.
I didn't have anything that old. That's awesome.
Also, and I completely forgot about this one. It was on this day in 2010 that the Deepwater Horizon was finally capped.
Whoa.
After spewing oil into the Gulf for 87 days, they finally kept the Deepwater Horizon on this day in 2010.
Let me get through a couple more of these birthdays.
Yep.
I just one that was interesting to me. 1950, Greek American author, syndicated columnist, and creator of the Huffington Post, Ariana Huffington.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah, I honestly thought Huffington Post was named after like a place until I started researching that one today. Let's see. 1967.
Okay.
Personal favorite of mine, Adam Savage, from the Mythbusters. He's an American film special effects designer and a television personality from the Mythbusters. He was born in New York City.
Good stuff.
1967. And in 86, Ari Aster, the screenwriter and director of Midsommar and Hereditary, born in New York City.
All right.
Uh-huh.
Any deaths on this day?
Just a couple. 1521, Spanish explorer and conquistador. Why are my names loading? Oh my gosh. That was oh my goodness. Excuse me. I'll move on. I'll move on from that one. I gotta come back to it in just a second. 1997. Gianni Versace, the Italian fashion designer.
There you go. Yep. I had that one.
1904. Anton Chekhov, the Russian author and playwright.
I did not have that
passed away. Famous for honestly most famous in literary discussions like in America right now, or like in modern times, because of the literary theory of Chekhov's gun. You might have heard of it. It's a narrative principle. Basically, and I think it's a good one, talking about fictional writing, basically says that every element in a story should be necessary. So Chekhov's gun is like, don't just have a prop of a gun on stage. If you introduce a loaded gun on stage, you owe it to the audience that gun should be fired.
Oh.
Narrative elements have to have a use.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. As far as national days are concerned, what have you got?
National Hot Dog Day.
That's what I have too.
And
I have a
Gummy
theory.
Worm Day.
I have a theory on why today is National Hot Dog Day.
Why?
It's because we are 11 days removed from the 4th of July. And my theory is when all the grocery stores stocked up on hot dogs to sell them for the 4th of July, whatever they didn't sell, we're pushing 2 weeks later. So now they got to get them out the door. And that little Best Buy date on the hot dog pack, not that hot dogs ever go bad, but like that little Best Buy date is going to be pushing back on you. So 2 weeks after, or just shy of 2 weeks after the 4th of July, whatever hot dogs you didn't sell, let's get them out the door for National Hot Dog Day. That's my little conspiracy theory.
Gross.
Yeah.
All right. And then, sorry, I also forgot to mention the name, Spanish explorer Juan Ponce de Leon.
Ponce de Leon, little fountain of youth right
Passed
there.
away today. Yeah, he was searching for the fountain of youth. He was the first European to set foot in Florida.
Very good stuff. All right, we are due up for a break, but I do need to remind you about the Baton Rouge Metro Airport. FlyBTR.com is the website. FlyBTR.com. If you're making your plans to travel with the Tigers this fall, FlyBTR.com has got you covered. The great folks over at Delta have set up direct flights to Lexington or to Knoxville to see the Tigers take on the Wildcats or the Volunteers, respectively. Now, the flight will leave out on Friday and come home on Sunday. Conversely, if you got friends coming in from Clemson, Alabama, or Texas for those weekends, Same deal applies. Learn more at flybtr.com. Of course, they're there for you every single day with a daily flight to our nation's capital in Washington, D.C., or wherever you are headed. Learn more at flybtr.com. State Senator Rick Edmonds is next. All right. So I want to make sure we get to 3 bills today, at least, if we have to do a second one on this, because I mean,
I had a load of them.
It's a lot of signed by the governor, signed by the governor, signed by the governor. So
yeah.
Prohibiting AI
Yep.
for child abuse, sexual abuse, the human trafficking training.
There's some training for
and then well, these are all right in a row. Substitute adopted on the Senate floor was vocational charter schools.
Yes.
We're headed in that direction.
Yes.
And we need to be out in front on the direction.
Yes.
So I want to make sure we hit those 3,
Okay.
and then we'll pivot over, and then
I'm here.
Okay.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Oh, Wilton, State Senator Rick Edmonds.
Good to see you. Yes, sir.
Report comes to you from the Talk 3 Traffic Center. Pick your color, pick your side. ReliefWindows.com.
.818 Talk World 73 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Time to we're going to rewind the clock and fast forward all in the same segment because dating back to June 1st, our legislative session came to a close. And when more than 2,500 items are considered over the course of 3 months, it takes a while to unpack. We're still doing that now, and we welcome State Senator Rick Edmonds back to the studio. How are you?
Good, man. Look, I was just being a student this morning, sitting here, and look, Wilton was on fire this morning. What name dropping? I mean, Rembrandt, Boeing,
yeah,
Ponce de Leon.
Yeah,
I took mental notes. Come on, fella. I mean,
this
man,
day in history, it brings it every single day. Yep,
yeah, and
absolutely.
hot dogs, all in one go.
Do you think my theory holds water here? They load up at the grocery store for the 4th of July. Everybody buys the hamburger, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna."
I'm going to go with. I don't know.
A lot of leftover hot dogs here.
I guess it was the guy in New York that couldn't eat them all.
Right.
So whatever that guy's name is,
clear them out the fridge. Let's go. All right. You had to say you had a busy legislative session is an absolute understatement.
Yeah.
And if we could rewind the clock, it shouldn't be overlooked that when you look at the stack of bills that you've got pushed through, combined with the fact that you were also running for Congress at the time, that's a lot. You had to did you clone yourself at some point?
I didn't think about it, Brian. It was an overload, but it just happened to be one of those sessions. I just finished 11, starting year number 12.
Mm-hmm.
But man, we ran some bill. We ran about 20 instruments, and fortunately, the governor signed almost all of them. In fact, we didn't have any decline. We just had some committee holdups on a couple, but
yeah,
man, it was a great session.
So you had a couple held up in committee. The one I want to start with, if we could, you actually a substitute bill was adopted. Can we start off by talking about charter schools that specialize in vocational and technical education, what you wanted to do and what it ended up actually being?
Yeah. You know, we started talking about this back in the spring.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to get our schools in line with career realignment. We're losing about 40% of our graduate students in the university systems or technical schools that are leaving the state.
Right.
So now what we've done is combine what we're doing on our universities to make certain that they are involved in their graduation rates, but they're also involved in steering them in the direction for great jobs in Louisiana.
Right.
which you referred to great economic development in your last closing section.
Yeah.
So now what we've done is we've got our charter schools interested in that as well. They've done a great job in a lot of our areas, but the technical stuff and career stuff has really not been their expertise, so to speak. Now they're very interested. And so that this bill is going to push them in that direction and give them some direction. That's where they're headed.
One of the things that I can't help but think about when talking about vocational or technical education and starting in it earlier than post high school, starting even earlier than that, is when you look around with the announcements that have been made, the over $150 billion worth of investment that LED's bringing into the state. When you see things like the Meta Data Center up in Northeast Louisiana or Hut 8 over in West Feliciana, the jobs that are going to be in those places that are going to be really, really strong, high-paying jobs to begin with, but they don't need, a lot of them don't need an overall college degree. A lot of them need specialization along the way, or at the very least, powering those data centers with LNG or whatever else they're going to need. The power is going to need very specialized vocational skills, technical skills as well.
I think if you look at that latest Richland report, in Richland, Louisiana, they're going to need 3 power centers to be able to build for just that one project. And I've heard people say it's amazing that we can go to this half glass theory. It's like, well, these jobs aren't going to last but for the next 10 years. And I'm going, 10 years worth of billions of dollars worth of investment. It's happening right now in Louisiana. It really is. And that is up in Richland Parish, which would be Monroe, Shreveport, Donaldsonville, Southwest Louisiana over in Lake Charles. It's really, really exploding.
Well, do we think our need for power or our need for data is going to go away in 10 years?
Not at all.
It's just, if at the very least it might roll over from one company to the next, but I mean, it's the skill set is what's needed here.
The problem is the workforce development, is that we don't have enough workforce to be able to put those people on great, and these are not entry-level type jobs. These jobs are going to be tens of thousands of dollars, great benefits, the whole 9 yards. It's really great.
So talk to me about what this bill does in order to set the table for that, as far as creating we're talking about like charter high schools.
Within the charter schools, they will begin to possibly change some of their curriculum to start including career alignment with those types of jobs, which they probably not centered in on that. Academic excellence has always been, in a lot of our charter schools, have been what they really push towards. They're not going to change that definition, but they want to add to and say, okay, in a charter school, you can now get your careers that might have development in constructions or welding or whatever. And they're going to pick that up. If you remember back, and you're younger than me, but a lot of our schools used to have, or a lot of our parishes used to have, you could go to the afternoon instead of going to a regular class. You could go to some kind of construction development or welding or plumbing or whatnot in a lot of our parishes. Well, I think we're pushing that envelope again to say some kids are not going to go to college. Nothing wrong with it. I'm all for secondary education.
Well, nothing's going to deplete colleges. That's not going to go away. It's not like there's going to be a massive shift. It's just a small little push to say you're going to get yourself in the workforce sooner and be making more money with having to borrow less to get into that. You're like, don't start adulthood in debt.
We hear so much on the national level, pardon me, about how much money that a student owes when they get out of a university system. And then a lot of times they don't have the job that matches up for them to pay it back. It takes them a lifetime to pay it back. What we want to do is to direct a student to say from the beginning, look at this job market. This is what you could prepare for and be a taxpayer funding, all of that, but also have a great career, family involvement, and stay in Louisiana. And by the way, stay in Louisiana to do that job.
Exactly. State Senator Rick Edmonds is with us. I want to pivot over to one. You talk about families. This is one that, as a father, hit home for me as well. SB 42 prohibits using artificial intelligence to create child sexual abuse materials. What is this targeting specifically, and what's the outcome looking like?
So let me tell you how that happened. I'm just like you, reading articles, and I see an article pop up in down in Lafourche, and a young high school girl, they were taking her head, basically, and then applying it to a nude body. Well, you can ruin a person's life.
Absolutely.
Because people believe everything they read or see on the internet. Well, they don't think about it. Well, you're going to ruin a high school girl's life. And I saw it. I was actually in my Senate office going through some things, and I popped up and I said, we got to do something about this. And so that's how that started. And so we've got with the Attorney General's office to make certain there's not any loopholes as it relates to how someone can be prosecuted if they're going to take advantage of someone and ruin somebody's life. We're going to stop that.
How strong is this to eliminate all the petty arguments that would go against it, like free speech arguments or art arguments or whatever?
Yeah. So what we did was, again, going back to the Attorney General's office, and we crafted a couple of bills. This is one of those that said this is the necessary language that we believe that gets us through those issues. You're right. There can be some to say, oh, well, this was not ever intended, or it wasn't a real person,
right?
And all those arguments, which is wasting your time.
Mm-hmm.
These people, we know for a fact that these people's lives are being impacted. So now, through the Attorney General's office, we took the exact language that they needed to make certain that they can take care of business here in the state of Louisiana. And we're one of the first states that are trying to take advantage of that within the law to make certain that we're not hurting anyone, but we're helping our students.
Well, and it's something that needs to be nipped in the bud before it becomes regular. When you see, you might say, well, this is a one-off item right now. Sure.
Yeah.
But the more people that are using AI, and the more, and look, anybody who's got a teenager knows how volatile that environment is.
Well, social media can be a great thing. The internet can be a great thing.
How thankful are you that we didn't have social media when we were coming up?
Yeah, we had no idea, right? So now here you are. AI. Okay, is it going to be a great thing? Well, sure, I use AI.
Yeah.
I do research, no
Right.
problem. But think of the people that for some unknown reason decide in a negative way that they will take a tool that's designed to be good and turn it into evil.
And yeah.
So we're trying to make certain we shut that down as best we can.
Because, I mean, just rewind it back to what bullying looked like 30 years ago
Sure.
versus what it looks like today, or 40 years ago versus what it looks like today. It is so pervasive and inescapable today because of social media.
Yeah.
You don't just get picked on at school by the bully and then go home, regroup, and come back the next day fresh. You go home and it follows you home.
Or a group of people in where they could be in a university, could be in a high school. They get together and think, hey, this will be funny.
Right.
And guess what? Not funny.
Yeah, the outcome is just as
not
bad,
funny.
to be sure. One other one I want to hit before we pivot over to the upcoming campaign trail, and that is, this is another one where, as a father of daughters especially, you had a bill that provides for training to prevent human trafficking at public elementary and secondary schools, and provides for victims services as well. Tell me, we got 2 minutes. Tell me about the training end.
Yeah. So it's looking for signs. It's helping teachers, counselors, administrators look for signs in their schools, just like we would do when someone we see is harmed. It looks like, I'm just going to say physically, look at somebody's got bruises and you identify and say, this is something's here.
Right.
Well, you start seeing signs emotionally, mentally, other things that come up that happen where a student is being impacted by somebody, a predator online or something. And now this human trafficking thing is it's diabolical. It's sickening.
Well, and it is not like what Hollywood shows us. We've all seen the movie Taken.
Sure.
It's not like that.
Yeah.
More often than not, it starts with a relative. And that's what makes it so diabolical. It starts with someone that's trusted to begin with. So
we're trying to put the tools in the hands of a teacher or a counselor that says, here are some things that you see. We're going to help train you to make certain that you see that. And if it is with a relative, or if no matter what, if it's online, if it's something, we can help those teachers that don't have the tools right now. That's what's been identified in some of our parish systems. So we went back and said, okay, this is what you see. Let me put this in here to try to help you get to where. So this is sort of teacher oriented. They came up with some of the ideas of what they see.
Wilton, we're going to blow past ABC News. Give me a minute 30 here. We'll get to local news, traffic, and weather in just a second, but I want to set the table for what's to come. November, you're going to be on the ballot for the 6th Congressional District. Talk to me a little bit about how the maps have changed your course.
Yep. So now instead of what was taking us all the way to Monroe and all the river parishes all the way up, now we're back to what was pretty similar to what we've had in the past, which would be East Baton Rouge, Livingston, Ascension on this side of the river, which is about 600,000 of 776,000. So the big bulk of our area now goes back to what would have been when Congressman Graves had the district.
Right.
We go across and pick up Point Coupee and West Baton Rouge and goes down to Lafourche. So it's something we're used to.
Mhm.
It's really what Shelley Dick had thrown out as one of what we thought was a good map.
Right.
And she decided she wanted to get involved in sort of the politics of it, or maybe she wants to be a legislator. But she was an overreach, we thought. And now we're back to what we think is a very strong representative map here for our area. Very pleased with it.
Are we confident we're going to get through the election day with this map?
I am.
Okay.
Yes. Because
right.
you're talking about, if we hadn't done it this way, think about it. You could have had all 6 candidates been elected, and the day one you would have had, before anything could have happened, you could have had a court case against all 6 of our congressmen. This
Right.
is not just my district.
No.
This is Mike Johnson, Scalise, this is everybody.
Yeah.
And that's what would have happened. You know it.
Yeah. Looking at that map, as jacked up as the 6th was with the old map,
Yeah.
5 was worse.
Yeah.
It covered way too much ground in way too many different parts of the state.
So I just want to confirm this, that we worked hard to make certain that we wouldn't split Livingston Parish, and we would get the best part of Ascension that we possibly could. It's not a perfect map.
Right.
But it is a very good map for the representation of our area. And I think our people, when our constituents look at it, they'll know how hard we work to get a very good map for our people. I'm very pleased with it.
I am looking at what I was supposed to cover in this segment. We got through about half of it.
Okay.
So within the next 2 weeks, let's get you back on again to pick up where we left off.
Sure.
He's State Senator Rick Edmonds. Greatly appreciate the time. Thank you so much.
Great. Thanks.
Local news, traffic, weather. Congresswoman Julia Letlow is next. Wait, just that you had a busy session. What else can we do here? So, yeah. But I promised Zach I was going to talk about something else.
Oh, good to the news.
No, good.
Hey, sir.
Good to see you. How are you? Hey, Derek.
Brian, am I calling?
Yeah.
Told me to reach
She's
out.
calling us.
Okay. Tell me when you see
Should we busy the line?
What?
Should we busy line 1?
Yeah, please.
Good to meet you, Senator.
Can you kill those mics for right now?
Yeah. own program for. Just gotta get through weather. Woo! Brian, I'm not gonna lie. I haven't made a single tiny mistake.
Why would you say that? There's 25 minutes to go in the show. There's 25 minutes to go in the show. It's. Look, I'm a big sports analogy guy. Okay, you don't talk to the pitcher in the middle of a no-hitter. As soon as you tell a pitcher he's throwing a no-hitter, you know what happens? Someone yaks one out the park.
You know what he did before he was a state senator?
I don't know what his day job is. I know he's a preacher on the weekends. So, real estate? No, I don't know. I'm not going to guess.
Do they get a salary for like they normally quit their day job?
No. State legislature is very much a part-time job. And you'll hear a lot of people bitch about like they get a per diem and whatnot, blah, blah, blah. They have to leave their work to come to the Capitol for 3 months. And it's something that people piss and moan about a lot, but in the grand scheme of things, that it actually is public service.
Open regular and then toss to DC Current, or should I just do
Open regular and toss. I will toss to DC Current because I got to do my 180 Pros live.
All right, here you go.
838 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along, broadcasting live from the 180 Pros studio. 180 Pros, not your IT provider. They are your IT partner. What's the difference? Well, the difference is all the difference. I mean, they base their success off of your success. And if you're a small business owner, you know all too well. You don't even need me to tell you. If your network is down, you're not earning. And if you're not earning, your business is not moving towards success. 180 Pros is in it to win it for you. They're in it to make sure that your business is not down, that your network is not down. And if something does come about to take your network offline, you'll get same-day response time. Same-day response time is guaranteed, provided you call within business hours. You're not calling them up at like 9 o'clock at night. They'll get to you the next morning in that case. But you call within business hours, you're getting same-day response time. 330-2200 is the phone number. 330-2200, or do just the easiest way to start is by visiting 180pros.com. All right, it is time for DC Current, presented by LABI. Let's go. Congresswoman Julia Letlow on the hotline with us. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Brian. I'm doing great. How are you?
I am doing very well as well. We got a lot to cover, a lot from your neck of the woods, actually, from Northeast Louisiana. We'll get to that in a little bit. I did, however, want to start off by just kind of giving you an open floor to comment on State Senator Larry Selders. His funeral and services were, believe it or not, they were yesterday directly behind where I'm sitting right now. The Mount Zion Church is behind us. We actually closed up shop. Flynn Foster said, hey, everybody work from home so they can use our parking lot. And boy, did they need it. They needed our parking lot, the parking lot across the street. A lot of turnout for such a great, great man. But just want to give you the floor to comment on the senator.
I bet so, because he was just truly an incredible person. And I was so honored to serve alongside him, to represent Baton Rouge. I always found him to be so incredibly kind. He had a heart for people and public service, and that's the legacy that he leaves. And, I know that pain all too well. I'm going to be praying hard for his family and his kiddos and his wife. And so I'm just going to continue lifting them up in prayer as they walk these days and months and years ahead. But just the legacy he leaves is incredible, and I was so proud to know him.
Yeah, and you definitely know the parallels when it comes to the family aspect, to be sure. So, he's one of the best around, absolutely. Congresswoman Julia Letlow is our guest. DC Current, presented by LABI. Congresswoman, let's start off with what happened on Monday. Roll back the clock to Monday. The folks from Meta were in a big press conference with Governor Landry and LED Secretary Susan Bourgeois, basically quintupling their monetary investment in Louisiana and doubling the data center in size and scope. Tell me about just from your perspective, what this means for your backyard.
Gosh, I could not be more excited for this long-awaited expansion. We've heard the rumors for so long, and to now be able to announce it is just absolutely huge. And it's going to have a bigger impact than we could have even dreamed about in Northeast Louisiana. 1,000 permanent, high-paying jobs, even more construction jobs. And this is going to have a residual impact, Brian, of increased economic activity and population growth. And I can't stress that enough. And, just being from Northeast Louisiana, it will always be so close to my heart. I'm thrilled that we have this opportunity coming to Richland Parish. It has been the shot in the arm that we've been praying for years, Brian. And I'm so grateful that, as a mom, I don't have to worry about my children not being able to find opportunity here. And it's just through examples like this that we're going to keep our kiddos here. And I'm so grateful to Secretary Bourgeois, of course, the governor, for recruiting Meta to come in and do this. And I've seen it firsthand that they've truly taken Richland Parish as a partnership and said, this is what we're going to bring to the table. We want to work together with you guys and make sure that we have community buy-in. And we just saw the announcement where the teachers in Richland Parish are going to receive a $50,000 bonus, Brian. That's more than their annual salary.
I know. You talk about buy-in, air quote buy-in. I mean, if you are bonusing teachers $50,000, every teacher in the parish, $50,000. I just think about how life-changing that is for these teachers are public servants, and think about how life-changing that is to be able to take that money and just bankroll it, take that money and invest it, save it, or maybe splurge a little bit too. But you're able to do so much more just off of the awesome job you've already done.
Yes, and for the first time, we're treating them as the heroes that they are.
Yep.
And I'm just so incredibly grateful that Meta is reinvesting and realizing that it starts with education. Mm-hmm. And I know that they're also, looking into improving our health care in Northeast Louisiana, and it's just going to have ripple effects for years to come. And I'm so incredibly grateful for what they're doing in my community.
Very, very much so. Congresswoman Julia Letlow is our guest. DC Current, presented by the Louisiana Association of Business and Industry. Of course, LABI is your state's Chamber of Commerce. You can learn more about them at labi.org. Talking about ripple effects for the future, Congresswoman, thank you for putting that one on a tee for me. You earlier this month, that's about a week ago or so, you put out a tweet explaining the Trump accounts and how they work. Would you mind walking us through what that actually looks like?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is the Trump newborn account. They went live on July 4th. And they are one of the undertold stories of the One Big Beautiful Bill that we passed last year. That we call them Trump accounts, and they're now live. And these allow children born in 2025 or after to receive a $1,000 contribution into an investment account. And then families can also contribute $5,000 annually to these accounts. And this is really meant to empower parents to begin building wealth for their child. It's a down payment on a long-term financial security. And as a mom, my work in Congress is always driven by that simple question: how does the work that we do help families? And I really believe that this is an effective pro-family policy. I'm so excited about it. I hope Louisiana families will take advantage. You can go to trumpaccounts.gov to sign your child up, and I encourage everybody to go take advantage of it.
Okay, so if you already had kids, this does not apply to you, though, right?
Right. Your child.
I mean, walk me through my own resentment, please.
Hey, that was my first question too. I was like, wait, I can't sign my kids up.
I mean, look, my youngest is 10, right? So I know we're already 10 years behind on the investment end, but I'll take what I can get.
I agree too. No, unfortunately, you have to have a child born between January 1st, 2025, and December 31st. It's going to last through December 31st, 2028. Mm-hmm. Those are the dates for kids who are eligible, and hopefully we'll continue on with this practice, that the American people will love it so much that we'll continue on past 2028. But those are the dates for right now, unfortunately.
Well, yeah, but they couldn't run it past the next, the next term. I mean, that's when the president's term is going to run out as well. But I have a feeling that once we see the residuals of this, and we see that we're able to establish generational wealth, without long term, this could actually reverse our need for Social Security.
Yeah,
if you wanted to map it out over the course of a lifetime, and we all know the battles that Senator Cassidy, on his way out, he's been fighting to keep Social Security from going under for some time now. This could be a completely different approach that undoes what we need on that other end.
Absolutely, and investing it in the market. I mean, just being good stewards, teaching your children early. My dad was a financial advisor growing up, and he taught me, the minute I turned 18, he said, for the rest of your life, you take a portion of your paycheck and you save it and you invest. And I think, just encouraging American families to get started is make sure that we're headed in the right direction. I couldn't agree with you more.
Congresswoman Julia Letlow, got two more for you that are kind of out of left field here. Big news this morning that the House has passed the daylight savings time bill. Do you have any take on if this is going to finally cross the finish line? I know y'all did your job. You got to send it over to the Senate, so who knows what they're going to do. But do you have any take on what the pulse is on it?
Yeah. Okay. So I know how my district feels about it. We put out a survey, Brian, to 200,000 people responded, and 80% are in favor of making daylight savings permanent. So I knew exactly how I needed to vote on this one. But who knows what the Senate will decide to do with it. But gosh, I get more phone calls about daylight savings time than almost any other subject. People are passionate about this one. So we passed it over in the House. We'll see what the Senate does. I know that they, they're down a few votes over there. So we'll see.
Well, okay. So just to utilize that, 200,000 respondents in your district has a lot of farmers in it. And the whole reason we had daylight savings time was to maximize the sunlight for the farmers. So if 80% of folks in a district that has a lot of farming and logging and ranching and everything else, if 80% of folks there say, let's do away with it, I think it's time.
Yeah, I know. And hey, the farmers respond to me. So if they're for it, I know exactly how to vote.
Absolutely. Last one before we get you out of here. Kind of want to pivot a little bit to kind of set the table for November. Were you able to at least take a breath or two from the primaries before refocusing on November?
I did. I came up for air, Brian, and I had a few wonderful days with my kiddos, hugged them tight. We had just a time to just be together as a family and just kind of regroup. And now I'm back out on the trail, going to work hard all the way through November 3rd and try to go earn as many votes as possible.
She is Congresswoman Julia Letlow. I can't tell you how much I appreciate the time as we with every visit. Thank you so much.
It's always a joy, Brian. Thank you so much.
Talk to you soon. Bye. Coming up on 850 at Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Before we get you to your money now, I want to remind you about Guarantee Health Solutions. GuaranteeHealth.com is the website. GuaranteeHealth.com. If you run, manage, own a medical office of any kind, you need to give Guarantee Health a look, because what they've done at Guarantee Health is created a new way to grow your business simply by taking the best care possible of your current patients. It's a 4-pillar program. You can learn more at GuaranteeHealth.com. Here's your money now on Talk 107.3 FM.
you go to the Baton Rouge Underground Film Festival last year?
For a couple of hours, and I didn't even see a movie. I ended up just talking to people in the lobby.
Yeah, if you get them on again later this summer, you should just like text me. I'll come in and just hang out.
Yep. All right, hey Facebook, I'm gonna have to bounce immediately after the show is over with, because I've got stacked up. My Wednesdays are jacked up because of everything. I've got to be done in the building by 11. So, but I've got back-to-back meetings like immediately after the show. I don't know why I would have a meeting for 9 a.m. That's physically impossible. So, but I'll be late for that. Anyway, we're gonna bounce as soon as the show's over with. So. Pulling up the chat again if my phone will play along. Hey, Friday's in the chat, or was. So's Haggai. The closed water system, a game changer for Meta. I did 180 Pros. He's either the GM or the VP of development, one of the two. So Flynn is the CEO. We have a brand new CFO, Chief Financial Officer. TJ is the COO, Chief Operating Officer. But Gordy kind of runs how we grow the whole thing.
All of guarantee or the radio?
Radio and digital.
Does he have a show?
No.
I feel like I hear about him all the time. He doesn't talk on radio?
He is the sideline reporter for LSU football.
Oh.
So you'll hear him during football season on Eagle. And he's everywhere. Like everybody knows him. And he's constantly moving at 1,000 miles an hour. So like my running joke is I want to be able to move at Gordy speed. Yeah. So let's see. Yep, VP of Business Development. That's the technical title. He runs shit. That's it. It's he's a very broad thinker and encourages broad thinking. So problem is the only problem with that is it's exhausting trying to keep up. But I'm the kind of guy like I want to keep up. I want to run at that pace. I don't know. It's kind of think it's the more exhausted I am at the end of the day, the more rewarding it is. $8:56 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. About to get out of here and hand off to Moon Griffon and the Moon Griffon Show. I do want to remind you about the latest deal of the week from the good folks over at Mathern's Market. If you've got the Mathern's Rewards app, A 4-count pack of Cafe Valley muffins is $1.99 this week at Mathern's. $10 minimum purchase required. Limit 1 per purchase, of course. When you have the Mathern's Rewards app, you clip the little deals on the app. It's like coupon cutting, but without the physical coupons. You don't have to keep up with that. It does all the mathing for you when you go to checkout. You hit clip deal along the way. You're saving $1 here, $1 there. Pretty soon it starts to add up a little bit. No, by the way, every $1 you spend at Mathern's earns you cash towards more groceries every time you shop. So you're kind of double dipping, and they're cool with that. But it all starts with having the app, the Mathern's Rewards app. Good at all 3 locations. Download it today. Been talking a little bit about that. Well, been talking a lot about that Meta deal. And one of the things we mentioned with Congresswoman Letlow in that last segment was that the teachers in Richland Parish are all getting $50,000 bonuses. That's pretty ridiculous. Our news partners at Louisiana Radio Network talk with Sarah Morris. She teaches 3rd and 4th grade at Holly Ridge Elementary School. Talking about not just the bonus, but a number of the other benefits that the data center is bringing in. Sarah Morris says the technology associated with it is boosting student achievement. Cut 7.
We're using an AI software right now that is helping with literacy rates. We're seeing a lot of gains with that. The kids love it.
Morris says the data center is allowing students to learn valuable skills that many adults couldn't even think of grasping. Cut 8.
They're learning to code in 6th through 8th grade. We're also starting to use the AI and all the technology from K through 5 the next coming years, and they're excited to learn about it.
I'm curious your take on this, and we're not going to have a whole lot of time to get into it right now. We might bring this up for a Moral Dilemma Monday in the coming weeks, is that how many times you hear people talk about you don't learn cursive in school anymore? Okay, but they're learning a code. Is that a valuable replacement? That might be worth a Moral Dilemma Monday coming up in the weeks to come somewhere. By the way, Morris says having the Meta Data Center is going to help set up Richland Parish students for successful careers long term. Cut 9.
The state has also brought in that computer science is going to be a graduate credit for this coming year. So that is something that's going to help them out with hopefully their future, those that go in that direction with their career.
I know, by the way, a $50,000 bonus doesn't hurt anybody. Goodness gracious. What would you do? Like, just walk into work one day. They're like, hey, everyone gets 50 grand. Like an episode of Oprah. Everyone look under your chair. You get 50 grand and you get 50 grand. So ridiculous. Life-changing money, really. We're all done for today, y'all. Haggai's in tomorrow, of course, for Cup of Tech Gumbo. But Ag Commissioner Dr. Mike Schrain is in the 8 o'clock hour as well. Looking forward to that. Always are. We got a lot to cover with the commissioner. So be sure to be here tomorrow. Right now, we're handing off the moon.